Clearly the star for their team and somebody that they rely on heavily to get those first 2 wins. Lining up. Man on his far side, and here's a run just across the 40 for a couple of yards gained for the Bears. Second down and a little bit less than 10 coming up.
And Aiden, I just noticed, I don't think this is Kyle Gordon out on the field playing quarterback, the much-awaited Kyle Gordon. I think this is his backup, the 10th grader Thomas Brown, that will be taking the field for the Bears.
So it looks like it is. Kyle Gordon MIA as of right now. Here comes the snap. Rolls out to the near side. He's going to take it himself. There he goes, and Brown nearly had a first. Will they mark it a first? No, it will not. They're going to say that is Kyle Gordon, so the roster was incorrect is what it was.
Well,
3rd and 1. Not very surprising.
Yeah,
I mean,
no.
We're not going to get into a PSA here, but not very surprising considering what we have seen. Here comes a 3rd and 1, a ball on the 47 for the Bears. Shotgun formation, and they jumped. They're going to call it on the senior inside linebacker, Oliver Lay. He jumped a little bit before, and that's a very stupid penalty because that's going to move the chains up and give them a first down in which they really should have stopped it.
And that was a big problem for Ludlow last week. They went offsides a few times from the Trumbull offense, so I think Norwalk picked up on that, and they used that early.
1st and 10, ball on the 48. Down to about 10:45 to go. Takes the snap, he'll run it again. This is a flea flicker to the outside. He's still on his feet, about halfway in between, so 2nd and 4, 5, something like that. We'll find out the official ruling in just a minute.
Offense so far has been an option offense with Kyle Gordon and in the backfield having Jakari Walker, so the option offense has been working so far.
Week number 3, just underway here. First drive of the game, and it's the Bears who will run it to the outside. That's a first down and an easy run for the Bears. They have had everything they've wanted to do, running the football. No reason to start throwing it at this point, Cam, when clearly the Ludlow D is not going to stop you.
Yeah, nice little end around right there from Samos Foley, the slot cornerback, the slot wide receiver and cornerback, the 11th grader. So they've been running the ball well so far.
Seamus Foley, a volleyball athlete as well. And now here comes a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Big crowd on hand, both Norwalk and Ludlow. Mostly Ludlow, though, as here's another run. They haven't done anything but run, and it took a while for them to bring down the junior Jakari Walker, but the running back will move up the chains for the 3rd time on this drive. First down, Bears just outside the red zone here in the first quarter.
Ludlow has the Bears have not seen a 3rd down yet, so Ludlow has no answer for the Bears offense.
Well, they actually did, but the 3rd down ended up being a penalty.
You're right. Yep.
The Ludlow jumped, so technically they did, but we'll say
no answer.
No, they have not snapped the ball on 3rd down. Here comes 2nd and 10. First passing attempt of the day was incomplete. Brown unable to put it in. Just underway here on Saturday afternoon, not what we're used to seeing at Taft Field. Normally the lights will be on in this kind of situation, but it's always nice to get a game on under the natural light of Mother Nature. Certainly bodes well for our West Coast viewers. And Jake Northrup, he was in our game day graphic for those of you that follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. He jumped the snap, and what an unbelievable stop by Jake Northrup. He's one of their main defenders, and it shows right there.
I don't know if Northrup plays basketball, but he had some hops right there. Looked like almost like a volleyball player. What a play from Jake Northrup, reading that play all the way and slamming it down.
Big stop for Northrup. Here comes 3rd and 10, the first time they will snap the ball on 3rd down today. Looks like a little bit of trips mixed in there. And Gordon looking over the sideline to make sure that everything is kosher and get the official all clear to run the play. Looks to throw. Pressure on its way. Looking for the end zone. It's just over the head of Andre Robinson Jr., the wide receiver and cornerback. Playing the position of wide receiver offensively. Was right there, but it was just lofted a little bit over his head. Now they're going to go for a 4th down, and it looks like they'll keep Gordon and the Bears out there. So it looks like they will not call the special teams out, and they'll go for it. here on 4th and 10, something that's not too uncommon in high school football.
And it's a longer field goal, so, you know, I see this kind of play. They know the strengths of the kicker, but this is a big 4th down. Great drive so far for the Bears. This is a big conversion right here. They need this.
4th and 10, ball in the 22, shotgun formation. We'll take the snap. They'll use the back as a blocker. Gordon has to run with it, and he's going to lose the ball. Ludlow will recover, and on the first possession of the day, the Falcons let the Bears go into the red zone and take them right out of it. It's a fumble and a turnover.
That seemed like such a promising drive for the Norwalk Bears. They get all the way into the red zone, but on 4th and 10, they go for it, and Ludlow makes them pay.
Ludlow makes them pay indeed. It'll be a first down. Here comes Colin Wilson, the quarterback, and the senior that certainly had a good run last week against the Trumbull Golden Eagles. He was somebody that they could rely on. However, the Trumbull D definitely made a habit of stopping him. He got better as the game went along. That's a play, and that's going to be Aiden Wyckoff, the captain, wide receiver position right there, and they are just about a yard or so away from a first down. Here comes 2nd down, and we'll wait for the official ruling on the scoreboard. We'll call it 2nd and 1. Here's a screen to the outside, has some room, rips down the sideline, first down. It's caught by Brian Howell, the wide receiver, and the safety. First down coming up for the Falcons.
A back-to-back passes to Wyckoff and Howell, Wilson's 2 favorite targets on the season so far.
Wyckoff and Howell are certainly, again, 2 of the more popular guys on the field, as we will see a man off to the near side. Wilson will run. That's what he does best. Taking off along the sidelines of first. Gets out just before midfield and about to the 47-yard line. And the Ludlow alumni that are here certainly seeing a good offensive showcase. Mitch Ross knows he needs the support from the alumni in order to keep this program going forward.
And Mitch Ross's offense has really been based around a running offense from Wilson and short, quick passes to Howell, Wyckoff, and even Northup.
Here comes a 2nd straight run, and there goes Wilson. First down, a 2nd straight run on a QB keeper, and a 2nd straight conversion, and the Falcons clearly coming to play. And as we talked about in FSN Tailgate, it's certainly a matchup of 2 teams that like the offense more than they do on defense.
And on that play, they snapped it over to him on a good Wildcat formation.
That ball incomplete to the outside. 2nd and 10 coming up. The first incomplete pass on the Falcons' end of the day. He is 1 for 2. Wilson is now in the air.
That's what they've loved to do, Ludlow, so far in the season. They love to run the ball. They're going to give it to Wilson. They're going to give it to Howell. Wildcat formation, even with Kyle Quinn. So they have a lot of different packages from the offensive side.
Here comes 2nd and 10, moving the ball on the near side. They'll have a man on the far side. 2 receivers, sack on the far side, 2 to the near side. Here's a snap. Wilson all alone in the backfield. It's incomplete. Looks like it actually tipped the hand of number 51. It was Christme Edward. Paul Pioric following for the same one that we did, looking at the wrong roster. I was about to say it was Nick Versea, but he is a Falcon, a Falcon sophomore. It was Christme Edward who got a hand to the ball and was able to deflect it. That's what they need. Is here come the Norwalk fans along the near side. So the Bears, certainly the pack, as they like to call themselves, arriving very early in this game. Here's a throw, still on his feet. That's Howell, and he's just short of a first down. So the Falcons will likely go for it here on 4th, just as the Bears did a set of downs ago.
That's what the Falcons like to do, too, as well. A screen offense. They give the screen pass to Aiden Wyckoff there. O-line collapses as they're supposed to, and Wyckoff gets his yardage as he's been getting all year on those plays.
4th down and 5. They will send the offense out once again. Big play coming for 4th and 5. The Bears, on their first drive, went for it on 4th down. They failed to convert. Wilson to drop. Wilson to throw. Off to the near side. Nearly picked off. But it's going to be a turnover on down. So both teams certainly being risky in that they come out shooting big, and they're certainly going to want to get a lot of those plays complete, but they just couldn't get it done there. And a 2nd straight turnover on downs, but not too bad field position for the Bears.
Not at all, and I feel like on both drives, since they've gone for it on 4th down, is because they've been in a position where it's like, we can't really kick here, and punting, it's too short, so they go for it. It's been kind of tough decisions by both head coaches right there. Tough decision for Mitch Ross.
Mitch Ross, the head coach, second year for Fairfield Ludlowe. Sean Ireland, the head coach for Norwalk, a Norwalk team that was middle of the pack last year, certainly had some big games that they wish they could have done better in. A team that is certainly has the potential, and a town that has the potential to be a football playoff town. It's very interesting. Neither one of the Fairfield football teams are very good, as he'll take off on first down and run for a couple of yards. But the Norwalk football teams, they got Norwalk, they got McMahon, and they have two teams that are very much looking upward. Two very similar football towns in Fairfield and Norwalk.
Yeah, it is. And, both towns looking for a win right now. Norwalk staying hot at 2-0, but Ludlow definitely needs a win on homecoming.
Here's a handoff. That's going to be up the middle. He's short, though, and third down, and we'll say 1 or 2 coming up for the Bears. Needing something to go on as we continue along here on the Falcon Sports Network. Aiden Blank and Cam Manna. Ian Sackey joins us in just a bit. The third member of our crew will have you for halftime. And it certainly is a gorgeous afternoon for football. Just about 70 degrees at kickoff. And as we move along here in the first quarter, Norwalk will look to do what they couldn't on that last possession, and it is throw the football. 3rd and 1 from the 38. Here's a run, and that's going to be more than enough for a first down. Just short of the 45-yard line. We'll say 42-43 is where they'll mark it. And the chain gang moves up for another time as the Bears are able to convert.
Bears working the offense well. They had a promising first drive, and it's been a bit slower on this second drive, but they're trying to get back where they were before in the red zone and be able to convert on this drive.
The Ludlow cheerleaders today with their junior counterparts. We'll see them at halftime perform as well as Ludlow dance. That's a big stop on first down and 10. Certainly a statement stop for the Falcons. That may have even lost a yard. Maybe 2nd and 11 possibly coming up here. Regardless, it's not a very good situation for the Bears.
Travis Hayden, the 10th grade nose guard and nose tackle, 308 pounds, taking down Gordon.
All 308 pounds of it. Actually is possibly interested in joining our FSN crew. Could end up helping us out. Obviously not for football. He'll be out on the field, but for some of the other sports. Pressure coming. Throw to the outside. That's complete. And
Flag
yellow
down.
hankies all over. So the first penalty of the day, and our refereeing crew will let us know what it is in just a bit. It's always helpful at these high school football games if you can... If you're able to pipe in the wireless mic,
yeah, I know,
from the referees, it's always helpful because
sometimes you
then
never
it's
know.
lots of and especially when they turn to the wrong side and it's going to be an illegal man downfield, and Paul Piorik helps us out with that a lot. I know he is a spotter, but it's always very hard to sometimes when they're on the wrong side, and it's very hard. It's so much easier in college in the National Football League, and even in bigger high school football towns like Texas. They'll let you know.
Yeah, they will, and it's a lot harder here. But the one thing I wish they could give us is the number as well and who the flag was even on, because sometimes we just see what the flag was, never know who it's on. Like holding on
right,
who.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We'll see what the Bears can do, just working out their offensive personnel. A Bears team that defeated East Lyme in Week 1. They defeated them 41-24 and then scored 7 more the next week against West Hill, beat them 48-21. That ball's incomplete. So very similar scores in the first 2 weeks for Norwalk, unlike Ludlow, who wins 29-21 in Week 1 against West Hill and then falls to Trumbull 47-6 in week number 2.
We'll see the first time that Norwalk will bring out the punt team, and Howell will be in charge of returning this one.
Brian Howell back deep to receive on 4th and 8. So neither team has been able to score on either of their first possessions, and now Norwalk's 0 for 2. They had to turn it over on downs the first time, and Ludlow turned it over on downs the second time. Norwalk turning it over here with a punt, so a little bit safer than going for it as they will turn it over, and a 1st and 10, brand new set of downs, and Mitch Ross gonna try and use Colin Wilson more if they're gonna give him all those gaps that they did to run on that first possession.
Punts are always exciting in high school football, I feel like, because you never know if they're going to be blocked. We've seen the first 2 games, every punt is almost like a gasper. You know, you never know like if it's going to be blocked or not, so it's always exciting to see a punt, weird to say.
1st down and 10. Screen to the outside, Howell couldn't get it. A little bit more of a pass, actually, than a screen, but regardless, Howell couldn't handle it, and now it's 2nd and 10 for the Falcons, something they can't make a habit of getting to every single time. That's a wasted down, especially if you're going to punt on 4th. A little bit of confusion on the Falcons sidelines. Almost everybody, it's pretty weird because, as you can see, all of the Ludlow players were looking at the sideline, and then they get the signal. They all look down at their wristbands to make sure. It's very uniform. I don't even know how to say that. It's a lot of uniformity on the Falcons sideline. Dive and catch attempt is incomplete. So now 3rd and 10, and we'll see what they decide to do on 3rd and 10. Do they let Wilson run and maybe get some yardage, or do they decide to go to the air and or run the football?
I think the run's been working when they do run the ball. If you can give Wilson the blockers, he's like a track star when he gets out in the open field. So give Wilson the blockers. I would not be surprised if they do tuck it and run here with number 1.
Neither side has been terribly effective against the run.
Not at all, yeah.
The defensives have certainly had work to improve on run-wise. Their passing attempts, have not been too great. They will run it.
Ooh.
And a very hard hit down on the turf. Not much to work on.
That seemed like a face mask.
It's something, and now here comes 4th and 10.
That almost seemed like a face mask to me, bringing down Carlos Moreno, but
we'll see what they call it. And off comes the offense. So both teams deciding on their first drives to go for it on 4th and failing. Both teams now punting on drives number 2. Back to receive for Norwalk is actually going to be 2 of them. We can't see because the numbers are right. Oh, no, it is a fake. Now he's got to get rid of it. Lets it fly down the sideline. A diving catch is actually going to be caught, but they're turning it over. So the Falcons, a very tough play there, and not the smartest either from Mitch Ross.
I don't know what that was. That was a horrible decision by head coach Mitch Ross. Now you give the Bears the ball in enemy territory. Now they have a better chance of scoring with 2:46 left in the first. I don't like that at all right there. Quinn Pavo is trying to make something happen. That was just not a smart decision. Better to punt the ball away, have Norwalk try to put a drive together from the other side of the field.
Scott Erickson's at the Battle of Stanford, Trinity Catholic, and Stanford. Having a nice hot, warm pretzel, something our friend Pete Paguaga from Game Time CT would absolutely love right now. There's a run for a 1st down. They're just outside the red zone again. This is the same situation they found themselves in their first drive, only now they're with a brand new set of downs, and they have an opportunity, if they don't, to kick a field goal. That's not terrible range. Something that definitely could be made if you have the right kicker, which Norwalk does. Shotgun. 3 receivers stacked to our near side. That's a run across the middle. Had a little bit of trouble bringing him down. Here comes a 2nd and 3-4 coming up.
I think a lot of people would have trouble bringing down Jakari Walker. He just keeps staying up. He does not go down on the first hit. Always stays up, breaks a bunch of tackles. Very good, powerful running back.
A kid that just does not go down is a ferocious running back. Shotgun again this time. Gordon's running it, and he's stopped. Big hit by Jake Northrup. Again, a guy you don't want to make angry and a guy you don't want to have in your way in terms of getting into the end zone. Gordon's a fierce guy. He's a good quarterback and one of the best in the state, but when you have Jake Northrup, I don't think anybody could get by him in the state.
Oh, not at all. And what a play right there from Jakari Walker. Almost that could easily be a fumble right there since it was a backwards pass, but a great one-handed catch from Jakari Walker to keep the ball in the possession of the Bears.
For the 3rd straight down. Walker is going to be in the we'll put him in the shotgun. Here's some pressure, and that ball's incomplete. Bounding off the turf, here's a penalty. We'll find out what it is in a second. As of now, it is 3rd down and 7. We'll see what the penalty is and who's it going to be on in just a bit.
Penalty is an illegal man downfield.
It's an illegal man downfield.
On Norwalk.
On Norwalk, so Ludlow able to move the ball back, and it's possible that for the second time, Norwalk brings it to the red zone, and for the second time, Norwalk is stopped in the red zone.
Yeah, and they got to convert here. You only get so many chances, and you're going to look back. If Norwalk doesn't score here and this game stays close, they're going to look back to this and their first drive on, and say, what if we scored then? So a big drive here for Gordon, Jakari Walker, and this Bears offense.
We'd like to thank our homecoming sponsor while we get a chance, and that is, of course, the Next Street Driving School. They're the fastest way to get your license. For more, you can visit thenextstreet.com. Meanwhile, here comes a run. That ball's way over the head of, it was Jamal Boyd, who was the intended target. The wide receiver for the Bears unable to catch it, and it is, the scoreboard is gone off. We have lost all of the scoreboard, which means that the time is now going to be kept on the field, I would assume, and now here,
it looked like 1 minute left, and that was probably a 5-second play. So I would say maybe like 55 seconds left in the first.
So just as Ludlow gets the yardage, they now have to give it back up. That's going to be, and here's another thing, we have to rely on the dial-a-down, and it's 1st down. So there was a penalty, so Norwalk will not be forced to a 4th. They'll actually get a 1st because of roughing the passer on the Falcons.
Well, now they have 4 downs to score from about the 10-yard line.
Here's a run across the middle, and you see it says 2nd down. It's another issue with not having a scoreboard. We get so spoiled as broadcasters when we go and we see the electronic scoreboards, and when we don't, we get a little agitated, but we'll deal with it today. 2nd down coming up. We'll get you the yardage as we kind of can see it with our eyes. 2nd down, we'll call it 7. Shotgun again. Norwalk likes the shotgun formation. That's something we can see early there.
Yeah.
They're a team that likes to run out of the shotgun, and why not? You got Gordon on the QB keeper. There's a big stop, and look at that. He tried to run it, and it didn't really work out that way, as all the Ludlow defense, it seemed, came up on him.
That's 4 Ludlow defenders falling on top of one Norwalk running back, and the victim of that one was Jermone Moore. So, oh my God, imagine that. That is just hundreds and hundreds of pounds falling on top of you. 2nd down, no, 3rd down, and maybe 3rd down and 8, we can call it 3rd down and 9, as there was a loss of a few there.
Yeah, that didn't look very safe. We'll call it that.
Pleasant.
Timeout is called. We'll take one with you. Opening quarter. We'll get the time for you in just a second. Try and call down to the fields, get the referees to get us a time, but we'll be back in just a bit here on the Falcon Sports Network. Back on the Falcon Sports Network, Aiden Blank, we welcome in our newest color commentator, Ian Sackey. Ian, quickly as we begin, that was actually the end of the first quarter. So Norwalk's first play of the second quarter is a touchdown, it looks like. Yes, it is. So I was about to ask your thoughts. Then Norwalk scored. What are you thinking now?
I think currently what is happening with them, they looked like they were coming off to a good start, and then they had 3 bad plays, and then they were out of it after the fumble recovery by P.J. Egan. And then going on to Ludlow's side of the field, they looked like they were going to get first down after first down on every play, and then they had poor 3 plays and then couldn't convert on 4th down. And now it just looks like some boneheaded penalty calls by the Ludlow Falcons, such as Jake Northrup on the roughing the passer.
Now, do you think that that's boneheaded, or do you think that that's called for, considering, I mean, you got somebody like Jake Northrup, you want him at the quarterback as fast as possible?
Well, with that, you had Kyle Gordon overthrowing the intended target on that, which was Jamal Boyd. And there was no way that was going to connect with him, as it sailed probably 10 feet above his head. So I just think it was unnecessary that he actually ended up making contact with him. I appreciate the rush. But it just was unnecessary.
The extra point is good, so it's 7-0 Norwalk, and not the best start for the Falcons, but not the worst start. Their defense has gotten into it. Their offense has gotten into it. They're clicking. They just need a little bit more time to warm up. But when you're facing a team like Norwalk that you know is going to get a good chance at scoring every drive, you can't have much time to warm up. You need to get warm and fast, as we see Colin Wilson on the sidelines throwing. Norwalk will kick it off in just a bit. 7-0 in this game. Second quarter just underway. So we'll call it 11:36 now. The scoreboard has turned back on. 7-0, 11:36 to go.
And I think, Aiden, what has really been dependent on every game this season has been which Ludlow team comes out in the first quarter. Do you have the type of West Hill, the one they put out against West Hill, where they were coming out guns blazing, Colin Wilson running the ball and passing it? Or are you going to have the one with Trumbull, where they were giving up easy touchdowns on defense, having the Trumbull receivers blow the coverage?
Agreed.
And I think we see a mix of both, honestly. So at this point, it's still anyone's game. It's 7-0, but I don't know what to expect on this drive. It may be contingent on what happens here.
A big mix of students in the student section. The Nest has certainly come out today, and of course the homecomers. Homecoming dance is tonight at 7 o'clock. Now, I don't know too much about that, Ian. Do you have more info, a little bit about the homecoming dance?
I wish I could. I wish I could say I was going. I really didn't have a chance to purchase a ticket, but every year the upperclassmen, juniors,
okay, that's what I thought it was. I wasn't quite sure.
The juniors and seniors have a dance. It's mainly seniors, because I asked earlier in the week if people are going to dance in my grade, and they said not really. But who knows? Maybe there's a good junior turnout. There's always a great senior turnout.
Homecoming is certainly a pretty big deal here in terms of you get all the alumni back home. We do hope that we get a big alumni view. We hope that those alumni, that we get some alumni to watch the game that maybe are in, say, California or across the country or in other countries possibly watching us. We do hope to make this a very good Alumni Day for you, we'll call it. Wilson's got to get rid of it. Splits 2 defenders, splits 3, still on his feet, and finally brought down. Nice footwork, though, by Colin Wilson. Certainly, good job. Not a great job letting them get to you, Ludlow defense, but he was certainly in a position where he had good footwork and was able to get around it.
But it looks like there's a flag on the play, but regardless of whoever it's on, it was a great takedown by Christopher Vitti, number 57, on that. And Colin Wilson just couldn't get the ball. He had throw the ball. He had a whole bunch of he had no open receivers. Great coverage by the Norwalk Bears on that.
Here comes, it's 1st and 10 on the board. I don't think it is. Probably 1st and 20 or so. Wilson back to throw. Letting it fly down the sideline. Almost intercepted. Went right by I believe for Norwalk, that was...
I believe that was Davis Hernandez.
Yeah, that was Davis Hernandez. I couldn't tell whether that was an 8 or a 9, but it was 8. So Hernandez almost had it. Great coverage by him, and this Norwalk D has stepped up like we've never seen them in week 1 or 2.
And I agree with you. That was great coverage by Hernandez. He went in front of Brian Howell to put his hand up and deflect the ball as it is a 3rd and 23. So going to be a big challenge for Ludlow when it comes to conversion.
7-0, the Bears lead. Here comes the snap. Pressure on its way. It's a run across the middle. Still on his feet. Not even going to get back to the original line of scrimmage, though. So it's now going to be about 3rd. Or no, actually, it's going to be 4th. And we'll call it 15. It's a big 4th down coming up for the Falcons. Oh, no, it is 3rd down. So they changed it.
No, it's 4th down.
It's 4th on the scoreboard, 3rd in the dial-a-down. So we'll go by the scoreboard now. 4th down and 15 is where they'll mark it. Ball on the 41-yard line. This is not a pretty sight for the Falcons, and thus they have to punt.
And it looks like a low snap for Kunha. And I'm guessing that's a timeout called by Norwalk. Norwalk. I know there's a timeout called, but back to the play with Carlos Moreno. It's a solid run by him considering he's a backup. And he really has to step up with the fact that Kevin Quinn isn't even in shoulder. He's not even in pads. He's not even in helmet.
The ball's going to be marked on the 27-yard line. Great field position for the Bears. It's going to be shotgun once again. Shotgun, as Cam and I were talking about, is something the Bears love to do. They have great running backs as they're fired to the end zone. That ball is caught, and it's a Bears touchdown. 13-0 Norwalk, with 10:05 to go in the second quarter.
And another time where the receivers of the opposing team burn the secondary for Ludlow. This time it was Aiden Wyckoff. And Wyckoff has just not been hot today. This was the 3rd time I can think of where it goes over his head, where he's not in the face of the Norwalk receiver.
That is most certainly a way to put it. It is not very pretty for him, and there's not much you can do at this point. The receivers have burned Ludlow. That extra point is good, and it is now 14-0 Bears on top, and now the ball will be kicked back off, and Ludlow's got to score. It's something that now was kind of an option when they were out last. Now it becomes a necessity. Even if they only get 3 on the board, they need to show the Bears they're not just falling away offensively.
They really need to stop them on defense. The Ludlow not only has to go out on offense blazing like they did against West Hill, but they also need to stop Khalil Eason, who got a 2nd touchdown for Norwalk. And they definitely, the only thing I can think of that they can do with Eason is put double coverage on him, but you also have other receivers. You have Jamal Boyd, along with Jakari Walker, who can also go on halfback screens. But it's going to be a tough offensive drive for Ludlow, considering they are down 14-0.
It will kick it off. Ball is on. Oh no, it fell off the tee.
We've been having wind problems. I was out there during the first quarter, and the wind was blowing from the Ludlow sideline all the way to the Norwalk sideline, so my back was to the wind, and it was messing up my hair.
It is certainly blowing, and it's not that bad. I mean, earlier it was pretty hot earlier. Here's a big run, pounding his way past the 35 is whoever returned that. I think that was Howell.
I thought that was Wyckoff, number 21.
Maybe Wyckoff. But yeah, the wind was nice earlier when it was hot, and it's kind of blowing now. It's a very softer breeze, and it's nice.
It's better than it was.
You can't argue with this. It doesn't feel like total fall with the chill, but it doesn't feel like summer where it's 90 degrees. I believe it was 69 last we checked.
I just checked.
Perfect temperatures here at Ludlow.
And I just checked it as 65 degrees here. Partly cloudy, but it's still a nice amount of chill and heat.
Screen to the outside on his feet, just short of a 1st down, and there goes the penalty flag. Hopefully that looks like it may be on Norwalk, and push Ludlow across to get that first down. We'll find out here in a second. Refereeing crew certainly doing a good job stepping in. Lots of penalties early. There have been lots of them, lots and lots of penalties early on.
For Norwalk, it's mainly been illegal man downfield. For Ludlow, it's been, and it'll be on Norwalk, it's a hold. So that will move the chains forward.
It should. Holding penalty against Norwalk will move the Falcons up. The Falcon nest, the nest is certainly packed, and that's awesome.
And
I don't think we've seen a week 3 nest ever like this.
And I don't think that we've seen anything like this during the day. Normally we see them at night around 7 o'clock under Friday night lights. We've seen the nest being packed. And we also have Norwalk with a small little student section. I know that's a bit of a longer drive than, say, Fairfield Ward or Bridgeport to get here.
When we get to Ward, the nest is going to be packed. Hurdling himself over its ball is loose. Norwalk's getting the ball back still on his feet, and that was a very interesting play. Kind of reminded me of a week 1 play that we saw where Ludlow and Colin Wilson ran it all the way to the corner of the end zone, fumbled the ball. West Hill on the other end returned it all the way back. Norwalk gets it back to just about midfield, but that's a big, big play for the Bears. Able to stop any Ludlow momentum, and it's very tough for the Falcons to come out on defense after that.
And I was going to say that Carlos Moreno showed a large amount of athleticism by hurdling over not only his own teammate, but a Norwalk defender. And while he was hurdling, his momentum got stopped by the Norwalk defense and the ball popped loose. Just unlucky for Ludlow.
Unlucky is a word that certainly could be used in that situation. Run to the outside. Almost broke free. Still on his feet. Just short of the 35-yard line. We'll call it the 36. Big run for the Bears, and they keep moving the chains. Something that Ludlow has not been able to do offensively since that first drive way back in quarter number 1.
And that run was by Jakari Walker, who's basically been, if I can make an NFL comparison, it's a bit of a rough comparison, but you could say Saquon Barkley in the sense that it takes more than one person to tackle him when he's in midfield.
Play action across the middle, looking for the end zone. He might get in. He's going to get in. Touchdown, Norwalk. And it goes from 14 to 20, and as quick as it was 0-0, the Bears have gone up by 20, and this game could be over in the snap of a finger, and I think you would agree.
I definitely agree with that. Jamal Boyd just was wide open with that. Great running by him. And as you said, a game like that has just changed in probably 3 minutes. Has gone from a very competitive game, 0-0, to now 27, most likely 21-7.
Even at 14, it was still decent, but now that it's 21-0, Norwalk has gone up. And this is a very, very tough. It's so tough to play for this Ludlow team, and you got to give credit to those that have played. And they come out every week, week after week, and they make it competitive. This team makes it competitive. But it's just so tough to play for this team. And give kudos to every player on that team that has stuck through, especially the seniors that have gone through 2 different eras. Half their years have been without Mitch Ross and with their previous coach, and then now half their years have been with Mitch Ross. So it's pretty big that they're coming out, and they're coming out in record numbers. Mitch Ross said a record number of seniors this year for the program. It's big.
It's definitely big, and you had a lot of these seniors currently that have been at the varsity level since their sophomore year, so they've had experience under both their former coach and Mitch Ross, and I give credit to Mitch Ross for staying at this point and supporting the team, working hard to make sure they compete every game. Sure, they don't compete every game such as this, but they're competing in a lot of games here.
If they are going to score, they got to do it soon. 21-0 the score, the Bears to kick it off. And the Falcons to return it. 9:05 to go in this first quarter. Aiden Blank and Ian Sackey, your dynamic duo for play-by-play and color commentary. We'll be back in action for our boys soccer game of the week as that takes a hop and Norwalk will be unable to get it back, but Ludlow gets it in pretty decent territory. And as I was saying, game of the week is going to be Monday at 7 o'clock. Your Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons boys soccer team, that's the first time we get to see them, are going to take on the Trumbull Golden Eagles, a team that were co-FCAC champions a year ago. That's a marquee matchup, and I think we may see a lot of Connecticut media coming out for that one.
That's definitely an exciting game. You have people on Ludlow, a lot of seniors, Nico Rulo, Cristo Bocci. You have a lot of seniors that can really put up a fight, and juniors too. You have Nick Tenrero in goal.
Look at this! Look at this! All the way down the sideline from 130 to the other.
And that was a solid run by Brian Howell. I'm actually happy that you interrupted what I was saying, because that was a great run.
Whoa. That was an unthinkable run for Brian Howell. The kid is unstoppable.
But he looked shaken up,
Excuse me. That was for Wilson, wasn't it?
That was
a
Brian Howell
QB keep. Oh no, it was Howard.
But
that's a classic, and I'll let you speak in a second here, Ian. That's a classic of you just couldn't get him. They were being very lazy about the tackling. Howell saw that, didn't just go down. He knew that all he had to do was stay on his feet, and he would get a good run. And they're in close to field goal range now, very close to the red zone as well.
And that was definitely a solid run by him, but he did look shaken up. He did go to the sideline. He's still on the sideline, but you also have just on this last play, you had the Wildcat, which was solid, 5 yards, and they go back to it.
Run to the outside, still on his feet, breaking free into the red zone, and the Falcons are right on the door of the end zone, knocking right on the door of the Bears' end zone, and they're right in it.
And it's really going to depend on how well the Ludlow Falcons do in the red zone here. They weren't successful when they got to the red zone against Trumbull, but it's going to be interesting to see what they can do here. First time in the red zone today.
Here's a run. He's breaking free, still on his feet, looking for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Ludlow, and the Falcons put 6 on the board right when they needed it most. It's 21-6 Bears.
And that was by Brian Howell, who in my opinion is probably the most athletic player on this team, on this Fairfield Ludlow team. And you could see it on the play that was for 40 yards before, and on this one now that went for 14 yards. That he's extremely athletic. He can dodge, he can juke out every player on this Bears team. And now it is a 21-6 game for the Norwalk Bears as they fake it.
Going for 2, and they got it. 21-8, not out of the question. Ludlow's certainly right in it. It's 21-8 Norwalk. We're going to take a short break, a big conversion, and the Falcons trailing 21-8. More high school football when we return. I can't even speak. When we return to the Saturday matinee here on the Falcon Sports Network.
I really can't find as many. If you can, that would be great during halftime, but right now I can only find FCX. And there's nothing. I can find past stuff.
Back on the Falcon Sports Network, Aiden Blank and Ian Sackey bringing you through this second quarter. The Falcons and the Norwalk Bears. This is a return by the Falcons. Uh-oh, there's a flag.
That was Derek Tallman, but I don't think it went 10 yards.
Yeah.
It has to go at least 10 yards. But that was a good try, though.
You know what? That was amazing, and Tallman is certainly one of the bigger players.
And it looks like
Norwalk is bringing their offense out on the field, thinking they got it, and
I don't know what.
we're going to see. It had to go to at least the 40. I think it went very close to it. It's going to be the decision of the referees as to whether he got it or not, and this could be big if the Falcons can score and bring it to within a touchdown by halftime. If they can get this ball back, bring it to within a score, they're certainly not out of it by any standards.
But it looked like on the sideline, Brian Howell was not happy with the flag, regardless of who it is. I'm guessing it's on Ludlow, but you could see he is not happy on the sideline.
The refs are explaining it to Norwalk now, which makes me think they may not.
And it looks like it will be on Ludlow.
Yeah, you heard the groans out of Ludlow, so they will turn it over. It was a good effort. Oh, actually, no, you know what? It's a re-kick. If it didn't go 10 yards, it's a re-kick.
Yeah.
I believe. So the Falcons will get another chance at it. The question is, do you try and do that again now that the Bears know what's going on?
I think they had one chance. It was a good effort, but I really think they're just going to kick it off now. That's really the only thing you can do because you've already pulled the tricks out of your sleeve if you're Ludlow.
You've shown your cards. You can't go back on it.
Exactly.
Now, that's exactly what Norwalk would think. So don't be surprised. Some of the fans, so they will not re-kick it. It will be turned over to the Bears, and Norwalk will get the football.
And there's an audio, hopefully it's being picked up of the Ludlow crowd just not happy at all by the call.
Visibly frustrated, you could call it.
Definitely.
A crowd that has been waiting for a long time, needless to say, for the Falcons to get a win on homecoming day. That's a nice little rhyme that I just kind of thought up on the spot. Here comes a run from Gordon. Gordon! Still on his feet, and he fell down. If he hadn't, he could have gone all the way. But just inside the 45, and that just shows you Kyle Gordon, a kid you don't want to mess around with.
And that's still a solid run, gain of 15 for Gordon. And it's first down again for the Bears as they move the chains.
Bears move the chains. They will. Down to about 7:25. The clock is running, so the Falcons may not have too much time to put together a drive. A run. Still on his feet. Gain of a couple.
Looks like
Find out how many in just a sec.
But that was a takedown by Thomas Stasco.
Second down, 7.
We'll listen to the band here for a second. They're doing a great job. They do a good job. They did a great job at the pep rally yesterday. They get this school fired up. Two receivers stacked to our near side. Pressure on its way. Gordon lets it fly. That's complete. Still on the sideline, working his way down. He breaks free across the 15, the 10, the 5, and a touchdown for the Norwalk Bears.
And that was a great run by Jakari Walker, number 1 for the Norwalk Bears, the junior, 5'9", 184 pounds. Broke free after the halfback screen to him. And a great job by Kyle Gordon for receiving the pressure nicely and getting the pass to Walker for the touchdown.
So a big run will end with 6:32 on the clock, 27-8. The Bears on top. Here comes the kick from the Bears. They have not missed a PAT today. Ludlow's touchdown, they ended with a 2-point conversion. Kick is up and short, but good. And it's 28-8, so a 20-point lead for the Bears. We're going to take a short break. Likely finish off this second half when we come back. It's Saturday afternoon football here on the Falcon Sports Network. Back on the Falcon Sports Network, Aiden Blank, Ian Sackey. It's a Saturday afternoon matinee, Norwalk 28 and the Falcons 8. Here comes a kick from the Bears. That one is one of the longest we've seen all day. Returned from the back of the end zone and let it go, and now Ludlow starts their day on the 25.
And that was probably one of the longest kicks we'll see in a while. I think the wind was going in the direction of the goalpost where the Ludlow offense was, forgive me. But yeah, they'll start on the 20-yard line, rather. NFL goes 25, I believe. But yeah.
We are aware of some internet issues. It looks like it has resolved itself, but we are doing our best to resolve it, so thanks for staying with us. And of course, as all games are, this the full on-demand archive of this game will be uploaded to the Falcon Sports Network YouTube channel afterwards, along with highlights. There's a highlight right there. Colin Wilson dodging a bunch of tackles and getting a first down. That was actually Howell, so moving the chains up. Good job by the Falcons, and they move it up.
And yet again, another solid run by Brian Howell. That would be a gain of 14 as they get to the 37, or rather a gain of 17. They're at the 37 now.
It's gotten hotter over the last few minutes, especially us up in the booth. We'll have to get a camera up here at halftime because we do happen to have long sleeves on, and I don't regret it. Looks nice.
I don't regret it either.
The long sleeve and the tie looks great. It looks very professional. I don't regret it one bit. Second down and 5 to go. Split backs, and here's a run. Still on his feet. There goes Wilson, almost near the first down marker. Wilson seems to turn every run that he takes, every QB keeper, into a big one, and that's awesome.
Definitely, as it looks like it is yet again a third and 1, and it's going to be interesting to see how Ludlow tries to convert. Will they go Wildcat, which is what it looks like they're going to go on this one, or are they going to pass it?
Here goes Wildcat, run to the outside, and he's stopped.
And that would be a loss of 1 by Aiden Wyckoff, as he was taken down by Christmy Edward of the Bears.
Well, we remind you to tune into our next FSN football broadcast, and that will be next Friday at 7 p.m. in Norwalk from Brian McMahon High School when the Falcons take on the Brian McMahon Senators. That's going to bring him all the way to Norwalk. Inside the 30, he could have walked to Norwalk right there. Big run from Colin Wilson, first down for the Falcons.
I think that was yet again, though, that was a run for Brian Howell, number 3, rather than Colin Wilson. And that was a great run as they go into Bears territory here.
And as I was saying, you can tune into our next football broadcast on Saturday next Friday from Brian McMahon High School at 7 p.m. The Falcons will take on the Senators. Our coverage, as always, kicks off at 6 o'clock when the Falcons take on with FSN Tailgate. We'll have live in-depth analysis with myself, Ian, and Cam Manna, and then a 7 o'clock kickoff on the NFHS Network. For those of you wondering where you can find our Tailgate show, it is always available live and on demand for free to watch on Facebook Live as the FLHS Sports Broadcasting Club, so you can always watch our Tailgate shows live from there.
Are we on a different clock than they are?
And it looks like there's going to be a penalty on the Ludlow defense, or Ludlow offense, rather. Penalties on Ludlow, delay of game.
And that will spot the ball at the 33.
And of course, we had the pep rally yesterday. The Falcon football squad had gotten lots of attention. Everybody wanted to come out to this one today. Great job by the seniors in the Nest this year, and I know you guys will continue it next year, Ian. But the seniors in the Nest have done an excellent job getting everybody to come to every game. This is Howell across the middle. Has nowhere to go, so he's going to get stopped, but a big 1st and 15 gain. That'll bring up a second short for the Falcons.
And that was a great catch by Aiden Wyckoff. That would be he hasn't had a lot of luck today. I believe that's his first of the day for Wyckoff. But yeah, great catch by him. And it will set up a 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 coming up for the Falcons. Wilson back to throw, running it, still on his feet, room to go to the end zone, he's in. Touchdown, Falcons. What a big touchdown, and Wilson, one of their main guys. You're not going to stop him that easily. Big touchdown there.
And this is what we saw against West Hill. 61 yards in that game. This one wasn't as much, 23-yard touchdown. We'll take it, though.
28-14 your score. The Nest is certainly happy with the result of that drive, and as I said, they're not out of it. This offense continues to click, especially against a weaker Norwalk D, and it's now 28-15. This game ain't over yet, folks. Those of you that think this game is over, get on with your Saturday. Go watch some college football or even other high school football. Oh, this game ain't over yet.
Yeah, just watch this game because we have this going on. You can still catch the 4 o'clock games or the 3 o'clock games for college football. But for now, watch this one. The Falcons are still in it.
The beauty of college football is it begins at around noon every day on every Saturday and doesn't end until about 11 o'clock. There's lots of time in there for you to take a break and watch some real football here at Fairfield Ludlowe.
Exactly.
28-15. You see Mitch Ross in the bottom corner of your screen. Very happy with the result of that drive. Not so happy with the result of the defense so far. The Falcons will bring their kicking team out today that has seen a lot of action, both with extra points and with lots else. They squibbed it last time and actually recovered, but it didn't go 10 yards.
It was close, though. It was close to 10 yards. Let's see if they do it again.
The Bears are up front, sending out almost all their guys up front, preparing for a squib, and it is going to be Victor Kuna to kick it off. He's basically their only kicker. If he was to get injured, they'd have a serious problem. He will again try to squib it. This ball is caught, and a fair catch was called, so at the 40-yard line is where Norwalk picks up. 3:12 to go in this opening quarter.
And I think you said, like, Kuna's their only kicker. I'm just checking quickly on the roster for Ludlow. They have Julio Onside, who's in my grade. He's a junior who plays soccer for an academy team. That's why he can't play for Ludlow. But he's also a good backup. He'll get his chance next season, but he's a solid backup for now, in my opinion. And his brother actually plays for Maryland for college soccer, Vinny Lansad.
1st and 10, ball on the 39. That's where Norwalk picks up. Rolling out to his left is Gordon. Still on his feet. Working across. Almost got broken free, but was taken down by the feet. That's about a 2nd and 7 or so coming up.
And it looks like he was taken down by number 65, Oliver Lay. Great tackle by him. And great job by the Ludlow defense on keeping Gordon in the backfield the entire time.
Hurry up.
It was only a gain of 2.
Hurry up kind of offense. 3 receivers stacked to our near side. Shotgun formation, takes the snap, looking far side, and it's incomplete. And Northrop kicking himself, really thought he should have had it. But regardless, it's a 3rd and 8 coming up for the Bears, and one that they really could use a conversion on.
And that was a great batted ball by Jake Northrop. And he's got to get out of his head now. They still have to be on defense. He still needs to be in peak performance. And that was a great stop, though. I'll give him that, but he's got to get back to it.
3rd down and 8. A brand new thing on the sideline for the Falcons has been a TV this year. They're watching it currently. That's a 1st down.
And that was Oliver Cloiseau. That was a great catch by him. Had to die for that one. Not the greatest pass by Gordon, but that was a great catch by Cloiseau. And Cloiseau is a senior wide receiver.
Play action across the middle, incomplete. Picked up by the other Norwalk receiver, but after it had hit the ground, so 2nd and 10 coming up for the Bears, and they do have a clock to worry about. 2:22 to go, all 2s on the board. Norwalk 28, Ludlow 15. If they want to put this game out of reach, they could use a score, and that would set them up to try and put this game out of reach in the 3rd quarter and send everybody home before the 4th.
And they may be able to, but we've seen glimpse of light from this Ludlow team that they can come back as they get a sack here.
There's a glimpse of light right there. Kyle Gordon put to the ground for the 5th time this afternoon, and a big sack by Jake Northrup.
He's really held the pressure, Jake Northrup.
3rd down and 10 is what's on the board. I guarantee you it's more than that, about 3rd and 15 or so coming up. That was a big stop, and Jake Northrup knows it.
And it looks like the Norwalk team is waiting for what play they're going to do. My guess is they're going to sling it to someone. They may sling it to Khalil Eason. They could sling it to Clouseau. They could sling it to anyone. Jamal Boyd, who knows?
Got a lot of space. Gordon to throw. That ball's incomplete. It's 4th and 17, and the Falcons may get a chance after all to score here before the end of the quarter. 1:34 to go in this first half. Again, coming up at halftime, Ian's got your show. Cam will likely step in. I gotta go get some food. I am starving, and seeing this fried dough really does not help.
Yep.
I need to go get. I'll bring you guys some food. Norwalk will punt.
I'd love that.
Ball on the 49. Back deep to return. The ball is loose. Recovered by the Bears, but it's a stop. That couldn't have gone much better for the Falcons.
And a good job taking him down by P.J. Egan. He didn't try and brutally destroy the punter. He just dogpiled onto him. That's the way you do it. That's a great job by him and this Ludlow defense.
The punt could have put him in a spot where all they could do is run the football, but now the Falcons could genuinely bring it to a 1-possession game. Should they score and get the PAT, they would get themselves in a position. Remember, Ludlow gets the football to begin the second half. So should they score here and get the ball in the second half, they're going for the lead, and that would be the first lead they've had all afternoon, and that would be big as they'll run it. 2nd and 7 coming up.
And the clock's still running here. It's down to 1:10.
1:10 to go.
As they go to a Wildcat.
Wildcat formation, split backs. It's actually going to be a snap that's taken by Wilson. Lets it fly to Northrup. Still on his feet inside the 10. So at the very least, they can make it a field goal worth of a game with a field goal here. He got out of bounds, which was the big part. 52 seconds to go in this half. Ludlow's certainly not out of it.
And no, I don't think he did. The clock's still running. He didn't go out of bounds. He was by the sideline, but he didn't make it.
A guy as big as him, some part of his body had to be out of bounds. Here's a run. They couldn't quite bring him down there inside, and Mitch Ross is going to use a timeout with 34. No, he won't. Clock's going to keep running. Now they're going to use one.
And it doesn't look like Mitch Ross. I'm not sure who that is, but I saw a coach not happy at someone.
Yeah, the clock continued to run. We're going to figure out how much time to put back on it. Currently, it says 28 seconds. We'll take a short break. Last break of the half, Ludlow trailing by 13. Back in just a bit here on the Falcon Sports Network. Back on the Falcon Sports Network, we are not quite sure about the time. The referees definitely have it officially on the field, but what we were talking about in the break-in was 34 seconds is about the time they called it. So we're going to find out.
I think it was 34 seconds, and then they granted it at 31 seconds, but there's 28 on the clock as they run the ball.
Here's a run. Can't get in. Clock's going to keep running. They need to call another timeout. Ludlow is asking about the clock. Mitch Ross wants to know because that is big. 10 seconds extra there's 5-6 seconds extra might be all the time they need to get into the end zone. Another timeout. We'll stay right with you. And a reminder that you can watch all our FSN games. They're going to be live on the NFHS Network. Go on to nfhsnetwork.com, search Fairfield Ludlowe High School. You can also check out our on-demand broadcast as they happen. Every game will have a highlight package as well as the full game archive posted on our FSN YouTube channel. So go on to YouTube and search Falcon Sports Network. Time has not been granted. We've seen no time added on. The referees, I guarantee you, have more time left than is on the clock.
I would say there's at least 22 seconds on the clock. The official marking is 19, but there should be 22 in my opinion.
The crowd getting rowdy. Ludlow has, I believe, one timeout to go.
That is correct.
That'll reset at halftime, of course. Split backs. The snap. Running to the outside. He's looking to get to the end zone. Howell is in.
But it's a fumble, though.
Oh, no, it was fumbled in the end zone. Norwalk knows they got it back.
Just unlucky.
That's
recovered by the Bears.
It's a touch. It's something that is very tough. Aaron Vasquez grabs it to the end zone at 8 seconds. And Norwalk will get one last chance before halftime.
And I saw people on the Ludlow sideline with the surrender cobra, hands to the back of the head, elbows out, like what just happened? So that was quite the unlucky play by Ludlow.
And it's not like they recovered on the 1 either. Now they got to work it all the way back to the 20. The Falcons are going to get it. They're going to get it with for the second half, but Norwalk is going to get one last play, see what they can do here. Now, do you kneel it? Or they will. So that will just about do it as the clock will tick down. Teams will walk off the field, and it's a 28-15 game here at halftime. The Bears leading by 13. We're going to take a short break. When we return, it's the Ian Sackey and Cam Manna halftime spectacular. Halftime comes your way when we get back. 28-15. Thanks for watching high school football on the Falcon Sports Network. We're actually going to keep it right here and turn in some crowd sound as the lovely cheerleaders fresh off a national championship last season from Ludlow will go at it. We are going to step aside, though, and let the cheerleaders do their thing.
Get ready for the cheerleaders to put on a show. And congratulations to the winning number of this week's 50-50. 515 3801. 515-3801. Come see us up in the press box.
And now Midfield for your halftime entertainment. We've got a bigger contingent. Joining the cheerleaders this afternoon are the Fairfield Ludlowe Youth Cheer Camp participants. Let's hear it for them for the halftime show at Midfield. Let's hear it for your Fairfield Ludlowe High School cheerleaders and the youth cheer camp participants. And now joining us in midfield is the Fairfield Ludlowe High School dance team. Let's hear it.
And welcome to back to FSN. We are currently at halftime here at Taft Field, Fairfield Ludlowe High School. 28-15, Norwalk Bears currently defeating the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons. And alongside with me is Cam Manna. Cam, what a game so far. You did the first quarter. What can you say about the first quarter, in your opinion, from both sides, both Ludlow and Norwalk?
Well, from the first quarter, I think both teams moved the ball well down the field. Wasn't too much action in the first quarter. Both teams moved it down well, and the defenses got good stops.
And I don't think there was any score in the first quarter. It started out 0-0, and then we went to the second quarter. 2 touchdowns to start off for Norwalk's Khalil Eason, both of which were passes from Kyle Gordon, their quarterback. And then you had another touchdown by, this time, Jamal Boyd of Norwalk to make it 21-0, or 22-0 rather. And then Brian Howell goes in with a great run game, in my book, probably one of the most athletic players on the team, and then he gets 2 points to make the score 21-8. And then you had a touchdown from Jakari Walker, from the running back for Norwalk. What would you say from the first quarter about Jakari Walker and his run game?
Jakari Walker ran the ball really well. He breaks the first tackle almost every time, so he gets off that first tackle, breaks tackles very well. He's a beast out of the backfield, brings the speed and the power. And unlike a lot of the Ludlow running backs, he kept the ball secure the whole entire half.
And that made the score at that point 28-8. And then you had Colin Wilson, which made us all here, me and Aim Blake, as we were both in the booth for this, we were both reminiscing about the 61-yard touchdown Colin Wilson had against West Hill. He showed a bit of that on this one as he scores for a 28-yard rushing touchdown. And overall, currently the score is 28-15 here as we go to other games around the area that happened. We have a lot of games currently happening now. Stamford and Trinity Catholic. Last I checked, it's 0-0 there at Gaglio Field. And then Danbury West Hill, also 0-0 in Stamford as well. And then let's go to a team you're very familiar with, Cam, the Staples Wreckers, as they had the final score of 38-14. You had a few touchdowns from the Staples quarterback last night. I'm trying to remember the name.
Jake
Forgive me.
Thaw.
Yeah, Jake Thaw with a couple of touchdowns. Great job by him. As the final score for that was Staples 38-2, Brian McMahon Senators 38. Final score 38-14. Last week. We were in Trumbull at McDougall Stadium. Trumbull played New Canaan. New Canaan came off of a great game against Danbury, and they showed the same amount of talent that they had against Danbury, winning 48-7 over Trumbull. Drew Pine, the Notre Dame commit for the New Canaan Rams, threw for 4 touchdowns, and Colt Nicholas threw for 1 touchdown. And so the final score for that was 48-7. And we will take a break very shortly here, and we will be back with more of the halftime show and more of the game, the second half coming up next. You are watching FSN, Fairfield Sports Network. And welcome back here as we are at halftime here, Taft Field. Ludlow Falcons, Norwalk Bears. Norwalk currently beating the Falcons 28-15 as we see the Falcons going onto the field, and we are currently looking for scores outside of FCX in Connecticut high school football. And at the end of the first quarter, we have Stanford and Trinity Catholic at Trinity Catholic. The score there is 0-0. We have
Darien St. Joe's is just getting underway.
Darien and St. Joe's currently starting at St. Joe's. That's going to be a great game. The Cadets against the Blue Wave. That's my opinion, game of the week in Connecticut high school football across the state.
Some news: girls soccer, Ward girls soccer
And-
is the first team to play on the new turf.
And we have
Tony's
the new turf at Fairfield Ward High School is going to be opening soon, and the first game that's happening will be a Ward girls soccer game. Very exciting for them. We've been kind enough to let them use our field, and I think they brought a great student section. From photos I've seen, people wearing all black, red face paint. Very intimidating, in my opinion.
Ludlow
And-
Field Hockey wins 3-0.
And Ludlow Field Hockey
St. Joe's.
won 3-0 against St. Joe's. And
Hayes
then
Desmond a goal, Audrey Sharp a goal, and
And
Evelyn Hogarth.
there's a goal by Evelyn Hogarth, Audrey Sharp, and Hayes Desmond. Great game by the field
All right,
hockey
let's go to
team.
break.
And we will go to break, and we will be back with the second half of the Fairfield Sports Network. And the score is 28-15. Norwalk currently beating Fairfield Ludlow.
Welcome back to the second half of Ludlow Norwalk football here on FSN. At the first half of football, Norwalk is up to a commanding 28-15 lead, and Ludlow will try to get it back for the second half of homecoming for the Falcons.
Yeah, this is a big day, Cam, and we certainly have seen a good turnout and a very fun one at this. This is a fun day. Ludlow gets blown out, but nobody cares because it's such a fun day of football.
And the kick's underway. Howell will receive it. He'll break a tackle and get tackled around the 43-yard line. So the offense that has had trouble with ball security all day is going to try to change that on their first drive of the second half.
Even on kickoffs, they'd had trouble with ball security. You could see right there, Mitch Ross was making a valiant effort to make sure that ball didn't get dropped because, they pulled that on Norwalk. Norwalk did turn it over. Unfortunately, it was overturned because of a penalty, but still, it's very tough for the Falcons to hold the ball. And they had the same troubles last week against Trumbull, and they had it against West Hill, too.
Wilson with the snap. Drops back, and he finds Howell. And Howell will break a tackle. Sorry, that is Daniel Fregameni. And he goes up the middle of the field and down around the 29-yard line. And the Falcons coming out hot.
Frags, as he's affectionately called among team members, gets a big first down for the Falcons, something that was much needed in that situation.
And they're running hurry-up offense. Trips to Colin Wilson's right. He'll roll out. He'll tuck it and run up the middle, but he'll be tackled down for probably a gain of 1.
Yeah, couldn't quite get anything on that, but good run regardless. Every time Wilson gets the ball, there's a possibility of him taking it to the end zone, and that's why you love him as a quarterback.
We are almost a minute into the second half of football. Wilson in the shotgun again. In the backfield, he's got Carlos Moreno. He'll roll out. He will find number 22, and it's caught. He'll break one tackle and be down at the 10-yard line. That's Colin Fleming.
Colin Fleming, the sophomore. Look at this kid. He's a sophomore. He's coming out. There was a little bit of discrepancy. He played freshman football last year. The kids on the team told me he's the best player by far. He was a former soccer player, and soccer players are what Mitch Ross loves because he comes out and he makes the best footwork available. So what an amazing job by him, and they're just doing a great job firing on all cylinders here.
And now in the red zone, they'll give it to Moreno up the middle, and he will get tackled down around the, let's give it the 4-yard line.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
So it will be second down, and this is big for the Falcons if they could punch this in, because the first half ended with a fumble, and if they could have scored, this drive right here could give them the lead, but this drive right here will, if they could punch it in, will get them right back where they need to be in a close ball game.
Like I said before halftime, if they had gotten a touchdown, if they had gotten a touchdown before halftime, they could be right in this ball game right now.
And Wilson gets sacked, but lobs it to the end zone, and it will be out to the back of the end zone as pressure was coming. So now it'll be 3rd and 5 for Wilson in the offense.
Yeah, there was no way he was making that throw. It was pretty clear he was off balance, and Norwalk, the D, has kind of done a good job throwing him for a loop when he tries to pass. They're running. They know they're not going to stop. There's no chance of them stopping, but they like to throw him for a loop. Good pressure.
A big 3rd down for the Falcons. Colin Wilson is in the backfield with Moreno. He's got twins with Northup and Fragameni to his left. And he's got Fleming and Wyckoff to his right. And Wilson will get the snap. He'll be in the pocket. He'll tuck it and run.
He's going
down the middle of the field into the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons.
What a big score by the big man. Take it to the house. Second touchdown of the day for Colin Wilson. They're right in this game. There's no reason they aren't.
Just like that, the Falcons are back in it. Colin Wilson putting the team on his back the best he can. And now it's 21-28 with the extra point pending. And the Falcons right back in this one. They're not going to let Norwalk come in here for homecoming and ruin their hurrah. But there is a injured player for Norwalk in the back of the end zone. As
this is serious.
Trainers are coming out. Everyone is down on one knee.
Our great athletic trainer, Sydney Juckins, she does not come out on a cart like that very often. You know it's got to be, when they're considering bringing him off on a cart, it's never good. And all the players are knelt on both ends. We're going to find out here in a second what's up.
We're going to try to figure out the number of the player that is down. You always hate to see this. And like Aiden said, for the trainers to come out on the field like this with the cart, it could definitely be serious.
On a lighter note, Sean Patrick Boley tweeting out, number 3 and number 1, Darien and St. Joe's coming right up in just a bit. St. Joe's all-starter Phil Pasmick is in a sling. He's out TBD with a broken clavicle. So there's something you don't see every day. And especially with a big starter like Phil Pasmick, a guy that is great. Phil Pasmick is one of the best in the state, not just at his position, but in general.
And Isaiah Valente, the 10th grade linebacker, will get up safely and he'll be able to walk himself off the field, which is great to see. The training staff is bringing him off as the extra point is pending from Ludlow from Victor Kuna. And this will make it 22-28. So it is a one-possession game.
This game ain't over. As we were saying, it won't be over until Norwalk really starts to run away with it.
And the snap is down, and the kick is down the middle of the uprights. It's good. 22-28 here at Taft Field, and Norwalk will come take the field. We'll take a short break, and Norwalk coming on for their offensive drive after this. Back here at Taft Field, Ludlow ready to kick it away. They were down 21-0, and they've crawled all the way back, something that no one thought they could do for homecoming, and now it's 28-22. The student section is on their feet. It is a electric Ludlow crowd, and they're ready to kick it to Norwalk.
You got a lot of people here. This is what the people, those adults that have returned home for homecoming want to see.
Oh, and it's an onside kick.
They got it. No, they didn't.
Ludlow will pick it up. Ludlow will pick it up. Oh, what a play. That's Garrett Tallman, and he will take it. It'll be Ludlow ball. And just like that, this game is in no hands of Norwalk. Ludlow is crawling back from the dead.
It's hard to not jump around in the stands after that. They were 0 for 1 on attempted onside kicks. They do it. They surprise Norwalk. I'm not sure how Norwalk didn't see that coming after the first time. And now the Falcon football, the flags in the stands. And I wish we had a shot for you, but this is such an incredible game. And this is the new era of Falcon football. Every game is going to be like this.
And Kuna had a great onside kick. Tallman makes himself known. And now Colin Wilson's back in the field with the Falcons. Two-step drop. And it will be intended for Moreno, but it'll be dropped at the 50.
Notice how Tallman was also the one that got the ball on the first time they did the onside kick, which makes me think they have a specially drawn up onside kick kind of play where he gets the football. Remember, he got it the first time back in the first quarter, but unfortunately, they didn't go 10 yards, so they had to give it away. Now they do go 10 yards, and they're right in prime field position at the 50-yard line.
Wilson gets the snap, and he'll roll out and look for Marino, and Marino will pick it up off the ground, but it will be incomplete, so it will be a 3rd and 10 with 9:57 to go in the third quarter.
2 straight incomplete passes. Ludlow should be starting to run. I mean,
Yeah.
Norwalk should start at this point preparing for a Colin Wilson QB keeper. That's the only thing Ludlow should do in this situation. Down to a 3rd and 10. They're in a bad spot, and they need a big first down from the guy from QB1 out there.
And that's what Wilson has been doing on 3rd down. He's got Moreno in the backfield. 2 men out to his right and 1 out left. He'll roll out right. Wilson looking to throw, and it will be a great
It
catch by
is.
Aiden Whitecoff at the right sideline, and it'll be brought down at around the 37-yard line.
Big play, big guy. The big guys are stepping up to make these big plays. It's not a coincidence that Mitch Ross comes in, and within 2 years, he's got Jake Northrup, Jake Simonelli, Colin Wilson, these big guys. He's got them. These are his products. Last year, that team was not the product of Mitch Ross because it wasn't his team. They had spent 4 years with their previous coach. This is the first real time that we see a group that is Mitch Ross's product.
Yeah.
They're a product of Ludlow, and he is the one that is designing this offense to march downfield in times like this, where they go down 21-0, and they're coming all the way back to try and take the lead right now.
And Ludlow, and I think that might be a delay of game.
Yeah, it could be.
And Mitch Ross was
Yeah, it is.
trying to pull them to go quick, and Colin Wilson didn't like it either. And coming into the play that checked in at running back for just that one play was not Carlos Moreno. He's on the sideline with his helmet off.
It is very hard to get the ball going. It is pretty hard. I mean, it is pretty hard to know when you got to get it when there's no play clock on the field. I'm a big pusher for put it on the field.
Wilson back,
There it
looks up
is.
the middle,
Oh,
and incomplete
no.
off Northup's hands, and it's fumbled. It was picked off and now fumbled, and there is a scrum at the 30-yard line. But it will be Norwalk ball. So it was off Northup's hands, into the hands of Norwalk, back on the field. But Norwalk, nevertheless, will get it, and that onside kick goes for nothing as the Bears are coming out on offense.
These turnovers just are killing them.
It's really tough to see it and just see it over and over again. Like, ball security is the number one thing you got to have, and even though that wasn't really ball security right there, the amount of times that they've made turnovers, Ludlow, is endless.
Yeah, it has been very tough for
And
them.
Gordon will hand it off to Walker, and he'll be met by a swarm of Ludlow defenders, and he'll only gain a yard on that one towards midfield. So 9:03 and counting, still 28-22 Norwalk.
Second down, 9.
And second down and 9 at the 32-yard line. Gordon, and there'll be a flag on the play as he hands it off. And we'll see what this one is. Didn't look like a delay of game, maybe a false start or an offsides. It was offsides on Ludlow.
Penalty on Ludlow.
Down to about 2nd and 9, so this has been a very
5 yards.
monstrous change, a huge change in momentum. Ludlow was driving. That pass could have brought them into field goal territory or just outside of it and just outside of the red zone, but then Norwalk able to change it, and this shift in momentum is always what kills the Falcons, or what seems to.
Gordon hands it off to Walker. Walker jukes one, breaks Northup's tackle, jukes another towards midfield, and gets tackled down at around the 46-yard line. So a nice little run there by a Walker.
They're doing what they need to do. They need first downs, and that's what they're doing. They need to score here. That's what they're likely going to do. They're knocking right on the red zone's door. One big pass, and they could be right there. So now on the other end, Ludlow's defense needs to come up, and they need a big stop.
Gordon fakes it to Walker, and
There
it's
it
picked
is.
up by Moreno. And Moreno gets hit by his own teammate, but nevertheless, Ludlow gets the pick, and it's going the other way. The first
There it is.
pick we've seen by Ludlow on the season, and it's in the hands of Carlos Moreno.
You needed it. You needed it in a big way. Ludlow has been picked off in the first 3 weeks so many times, but they come right back. And that's this thing. The defense just won't quit.
And now you get a chant of "Let's go Falcons, let's go Ludlow" from the student section. They're excited.
I think it's more like this is our house, and it certainly is.
Wilson drops back, and he gives it to Northup. Northup breaks one towards the left hash of the sideline. He gets tackled down at the 29-yard line. Ludlow's moving the chains. They were down 21-0. They're right back in it, and like Aiden said, they're knocking on the red zone's door.
They're never out of it. This team has had their share of blowouts. This ain't one of them. This is a game that they will remember for a long time coming if they don't win this game. They're gonna lose sleep over it if they can't win this game. Colin Wilson has had an ample amount of opportunities to win this game, and they should be able to right now.
Colin Wilson in the shotgun formation, trips to his right. Wilson back, and he'll tuck it, juke one towards the left hash in the middle of the field, but slammed down right there slammed down by C.J. Major, the 11th grade D lineman.
Yeah, he had to get rid of that, and it was kind of a weird blitz coming from the Bears. He had to get rid of it, and he just couldn't. Bottom line.
2nd down and 10, 7:42 and counting left in this third quarter of football. Once again, trips to Wilson's right, Moreno in the backfield. Howell is the lone man left. Wilson will roll out to his right, look to throw, and it will be caught by Aiden Wyckoff.
They signal he didn't, but I think Ludlow may have other words. The referees are going to confer here.
Northup did not like the call, but let's see what the call is. And I think they're going to say it's caught.
The original call was that it wasn't.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah, yeah. The original call that it was that they weren't was that it wasn't, and Ludlow the referees were just making sure that that was what the call was, and that because I mean that referee that was right there that was stationed right along the sideline were the only referee that could have made that call. Neither one were close enough to be able to really see it. So it was a very tough call to make, but I think the right one.
They have the better view down there than us in the booth. So
we have a pretty good view, but they certainly have a better one.
Once again, trips right. Wilson looking to throw. He'll roll out right again, and it will be, almost picked off by Norwalk in their breadbasket, and that would have been picked off by Valois Crizadis. That is a tough name.
This is a tongue twister.
But it will be incomplete, so it's 4th and 10, and this will be a big call by Mitch Ross, because this is, once again, one of those things, you can't really kick it, but a punt here, so I would not be surprised if Ludlow keeps the offense on the field.
I don't know where he was throwing the ball either. There was no Falcons in that general area. That was almost as if he was passing it to the Norwalk defender.
Yeah.
Not a beat on Colin Wilson, but that pass was going nowhere. Maybe that was just one of the receivers slipped, but
4th and 10, Moreno is in motion. Colin Wilson will roll out right to throw. He'll look to the end zone to Wyckoff, but it's just over his head.
I saw a penalty. I'm not sure about the referees, but it looked as if whoever that receiver was, I'm trying to figure that out. I think it was Howell. Howell was trying to push off the Norwalk defender, and he was kind of grabbing him with two hands. That could have been a very big penalty that could have brought the Falcons at least 10 yards up the field.
Carlos Moreno also thought there was a penalty on him because he was in motion as they said hike, and he wasn't supposed to be. So the refs missed that, but it is the Norwalk Bears ball with 7:10 left to go on the 29-yard line. And Gordon's offense is trying to put this game away from Ludlow as they are up by one possession.
Again, the Ludlow offense has had too many opportunities to count to take the lead here. They just can't do it.
And Gordon breaks a few, and he'll head to midfield in between the hashes, and he'll be taken down. And they're inching closer to a first down. This will be a 2nd and short.
So really quickly, something I'm getting very excited about here, looking at the Ward Week that is coming up in the middle of October when Ludlow plays Ward basically all week, and we'll have the majority of those games on the Falcon Sports Network. Ward Volleyball is now 4-1. Ludlow Volleyball is 5-0. It's not during Ward Week, but that Ward Ludlow Volleyball game gonna be fun. If both those teams can play like they have so far, that's gonna be a very fun game to call.
Pitch to Walker towards the outside, and he gets tackled down, but it's a first down. During that play, the fans here were a bit restless. They thought it should be a offsides, but before I get back to that, there is another injury on the field, and it looks like a Falcon.
Yeah, this time it's a Falcon. Really quick, an update from Darien St. Joe's. We've got a 28-yard touchdown from David Summers, the Maryland commit. A 15-play, 71-yard drive, 3 third and 1 fourth down. 3 third and 1 fourth down conversions from Dave. Thanks to Dave Rudin, and it is 7-0 Cadets out there. So as we kind of predicted in FSN tailgate, Ludlow is out. Not Ludlow. St. Joe's is out to a really good start, and I think they're going to win this game, and fairly easily too.
So there's 200 players on the field. It was P.J. Egan, number 16, the senior for Ludlow. He jogs off the field with the trainers. He is okay, but now there's a Bears player on their sideline that is also down. We don't have a number on him at the moment, but that will be Jakari Walker, and this would be a big blow if he does not come back. He's been huge for them out of the backfield, and he'll walk off with the trainer. So both players are able to walk off in their own power, which is always good to see.
Yeah, certainly. Almost time for Ward football to start. They're going to start in about 10 minutes up in Wilton, so that's a fun game to watch. Once we're done here, you can head on over to fairfield.live and watch the game there.
Gordon has trips to his left, and he'll hand it off to the new running back in the game, and he'll break one tackle, and that is number 15, Jamor Morrow. And he is the 12th grade running back and linebacker, 5'7", 173. And he'll take Jakari Walker's spot for the time being. So now it will be 2nd and 4, 5:46 and counting. Trips to the right of Gordon. And he'll hand it off to Moore again, and he will be sent down for just a gain of 2. And on the tackle on that one is number 55 from Ludlow, Nicholas Marcy, offensive guard and linebacker. So it'll be 3rd and 4. A big 3rd down for Ludlow on this defensive side, trying to get a big stop.
If they can get a stop, they can take the lead potentially by the end of the 3rd quarter. They would need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, something that they've done. They did in the first drive, so not impossible.
Moore is behind Gordon in the backfield, but now he'll set up in the shotgun.
Excuse me, they would just need the extra point because I'm forgetting they went for 2 on that
Gordon
first drive.
will tuck it and run, and he'll break through, break 2 tackles, and get tackled down past the 35-yard line, and it'll be a first down.
Now they're in field goal range. Now this gets dangerous. Now they need a stop. This has been a repeating kind of situation. They need another big stop. The defense has to come up big. They haven't really come up big today. I'm going to be honest. They haven't come up big when big was needed, but now they have to stop them.
So Morrow behind Gordon. Twins to both sides of Gordon. He'll roll out, looking to run. He'll break 2 tackles, not going down easy, and he'll be close to a first down. There's a flag in the field. Gordon close to a first. And it's holding on the offense, so he's not close to a first anymore as that one's moving back. Beautiful day here at Taft Field for the homecoming game for Ludlow. The sky's amazing, 67 degrees. Great day for some fall football.
Oh boy, is it. This feels awesome. And this may be the only time that we feel this, because next week it's going to be cold. By the time we go to McMahon next week, we could be in a totally different state of mind about the cold. But right now, I will take it. It's a perfect temperatures.
4:33 left to go in the 3rd quarter. 1st and 13 for the Bears.
Come on, guys. Need a big play here.
Gordon drops back, pump fakes, looking deep, and he connects. And going to the end zone for a touchdown is the Bears. That's Austin Hall. And the Bears are moving ahead in a hurry.
That was a big play for the Bears. They've scored on countless times like that. That big play down the sideline. And I was worried about this coming into the game, that if it became a shootout, it was going to end up Ludlow just couldn't hang with them because Ludlow can't do a shootout. Ludlow did a shootout with Westall, and they barely won. I knew that if it came down to a shootout with Ludlow and Norwalk, it wasn't going to end pretty.
And the kicker is now out on the field. That is Angel Betancourt. And he'll kick it through the upright. So now it is 22-34, and now a two-possession game once again with 4:25 left to go in the third quarter. And we will take a short break. The Ludlow offense coming out after this. Back here on FSN, Cam Manna, Aiden Blank for third quarter football here at Taft Field. Norwalk takes more of a commanding lead, 35-22, and they're ready to kick it off to the Falcons. And we'll see if the Falcons could hold on to the ball here. We've seen a lot of fumbles from both teams on the kickoffs.
Darien went 3 and out in their opening drive. They were stuffed twice after 2nd and 1. So that's something you got to work on. You can't get stuff like that. There's a squib.
Squib kick, and it's picked up by Wyckoff. Wyckoff led to the sideline. Wyckoff gets the blockers, and he'll juke towards midfield by the right hash, and will be down at the 41-yard line.
Good run. Big run, but a good run.
So this game is not over yet. Ludlow's had a lot of chances to get the ball in the end zone, and they've had mistakes, fumbles, interceptions, and they had the interception by Moreno to get him on offense again, but it went to nothing. So this is a drive where Ludlow's got to go and convert if they want to stay in this game. Twins to both sides of Wilson. Moreno in the backfield. Four rushers from Norwalk will be lining up to get to Colin Wilson. Wilson gets the snap, will stay in the pocket, will throw it to Wyckoff, and Wyckoff will catch it towards the sideline of the Ludlow bench at the 50-yard line.
Good run, good play. They're moving it up. But again, time their enemy down to about 4 minutes. Again, we get into this situation. They're down by 2, but if they can score here, they're still down by a touchdown, and they still got 12 minutes in the fourth. So it's not over by any standards, but if they don't score here, it could be.
Wilson once again, twins to both sides. Moreno again in the backfield. Wilson back looking to throw. He'll roll out right, still looking to throw. He'll heave it down the sideline, but he'll throw it away towards the Ludlow bench.
That wasn't pretty at all. He has been in too many of those situations where he's forced to roll out and throw. It's just not a healthy situation for Wilson. He's going to get hit more times than he's going to let it go.
Now it is 3rd and 1, so we'll see what Ludlow wants to do here. I would not be surprised if they bring in that run. Wilson will be out wide. The quarterback, Colin Wilson, is out wide towards the 50-yard line to the left. This will be a wildcat formation. Snap to Howell. Howell breaks the tackle, goes up towards the middle of the field, towards the Norwalk sideline. He'll head towards the 40 and be hit out at around the 40-yard line. So they convert on the 3rd and 1 in a wildcat package.
Had to hurdle the bench too, but a big play. Falcons moving it up like no one's watching. And they're still in the game. As I said, they score a touchdown here. If they score a touchdown and convert, let me do some quick math here. It'd be 30. So they'd be only down by 5 points. They're right in it.
So now it is 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. I would not agree that it's the 22-yard line. The scoreboard is not correct, so we'll call it around the 42-yard line.
Yeah, they just corrected it.
42-yard line, there we go. Wilson back. He has the trips to his right, looking up the middle to Northup, and Northup, the big man, Jake Northup, will catch it for a 1st down, and Ludlow's moving the chains.
making up for that first time where he got the pass but then let it go and it got intercepted and then fumbled and then the Bears got it. He's making up for that with a big conversion. They're right in this game.
Rely on Jake Northup. He has good hands. He's a reliable big guy, especially on the defensive side. But now Love trips again to Wilson's right. And one man alone out left. That's Brian Howell.
Look at how big Northup is. I can never get over that.
And Northup will get it again. The big man Northup will break a tackle, and no one's taking him down, and he'll be down around the 12-yard line.
Jake the man moving it up inside the red zone. They can do it.
Like Aiden likes to say, the chain gain is moving, and they're in red zone territory to punch another one in.
Well, they ain't staying still. I know that much, Cam. Walking it all the way up. It's still a 1st and 10. It's not a 1st and goal, and a timeout's going to get called.
So timeout by Ludlow. We'll take a quick break. 22-35 Ludlow here on FSN. Back here on FSN, Cam Manna, Aiden Blank, 35-22 Norwalk. Ludlow Falcons knocking on the door, trying to punch this one in, and that will make it, once again, a one-possession game if they don't have another fumble or interception, something that's going to make us gasp. But Wilson in the offense looking for another touchdown. And some confusion. The refs have not called play yet. There was a clock issue.
Yeah, they are going to reset it because there was some complaints the clock was running. They are going to reset, put some more time on it.
Cheerleaders having some fun over here and entertaining the crowd.
They are.
So the clock says 2:22 right now. A big drive here for Ludlow. They had the interception from Marino. Then they had a fumble interception type thing where Norwalk picked it up. Norwalk went the other way, had a touchdown, and then a turnover. So now Ludlow has their chance again. They've had many of these in the red zone. So now it's at 2:01. The clock's running.
Yeah, we are going to, I believe they said run it to 1:52, which I don't really see. If anything, they should be adding more time on.
So here we go. Yeah, Aiden's right, 1:52. Trips to Wilson's left. Northup is the lone man out right. Moreno in the backfield. Wilson back, rolling out left, looking to pass towards the end zone and just over the head of Aiden Whitecoff.
He almost made a great one-handed catch, if you can see that. He almost got it, but couldn't just get it. And again, the alumni getting a lot to cheer about. They come back, not much of a better feeling than come back and watch a game like this. They're right in it. I mean, they're used to, you got to remember, they're used to coming in and seeing it be over by this point, being over by the end of the first quarter, but they're so great, and the alumni have been so supportive. Mitch Ross knows none of this is possible without the alumni.
22:35, minute 38. They're in the Wildcat formation. Howell will take it. Howell breaks one, moves to the outside, back towards midfield, and he will be taken down at around the 4-yard line.
Close to it.
So
not quite at a first down, but
3rd and short.
Yeah.
They're close. They're setting up in a Wildcat formation again. Wilson's out wide. The snap to Howell. Howell moves it up the middle. Howell trucking in towards the end zone, but he gets moved all the way back.
Are they going to mark a first down is the question.
Tackled there by Aaron Vasquez.
Will they mark it?
And the ball is spotted at the 4.
So it's spotted at the 4, 4th down.
Oh, wow.
4th down and
They're
1.
going to go for it. No reason not to. Inside a minute to go in this quarter.
48 seconds and counting. 4th and 1. This is what you want to wait for. A big play like this. On the 4-yard line. Throwing the Wildcat formation again. Snap to Howell. Howell chugging up the middle. Howell will get in the end zone. He will. Touchdown Ludlow. Brian Howell gets in the end zone, and Ludlow is once again right back in it.
So what happens here, if they go for 2, they make it a 5-point game. If they get a PAT, it's a 6-point game. So we'll see what happens. But again, nothing like watching a football game where Ludlow's competitive.
Oh, and they're going to call it back. I'm not sure if they're calling it back. There was just a call by the ref, and it was on Ludlow.
They may move the PAT back is what would happen.
Let's see what they're going to do. Me and Aiden are just as confused as some of you guys might be. 31 seconds is on the clock. And they're bringing out the field goal unit.
Okay.
So the touchdown will stand.
Because the situation there was they kept the offense out. You didn't know if they were going to go for 2 or they had to get the touchdown again.
So Kuna lining up to kick. This will make it 29-35, a 6-point game. The kick is down, it's up, and right through the uprights. So 29-35, Ludlow knocking on Norwalk's door, not trying to let them spoil their homecoming. We'll be right back after this, after a quick break here on FSN. Ada Blank, Cam Manna, we're back here at Taft Field. 3rd quarter almost coming to an end. 31 seconds left.
Well, as the 3rd quarter almost comes to an end, we have a 1st quarter end in Trumbull. St. Joe's leads Darien 7-0. So it's been a game. It's been certainly a big one.
And the student section's going crazy, waving the Ludlow flag, waving the American flag. They're cheering whatever they can to get this Ludlow team excited, as they already are. And they'll kick it away to the Bears. And they're set on both hashes. Kuna lining up to kick. And it will be high in the air, getting to the 35-yard line. And it'll be picked up by Walker. He's back in the game. And Jakari Walker is swarmed by a pack and brought down at the around 40-yard line of the left hash, or right hash, I should say. So the crowd's all excited right now because the cheerleaders are throwing shirts into the crowd. Some exciting festivities at Taft Field. The Bears are on the field as Gordon. Jakari Walker is back in the game. And that is good to see for Sean Ireland's Bears. In motion is Moore. He will fake the handoff. Gordon will take it and run. And Gordon is picked up and dropped around. And he will be down around the 45-yard line as the 3rd quarter is coming down with 5 seconds left. So this will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. We're heading to the 4th. 4th quarter of football coming up here at Taft Field on FSN. This is going to be an exciting one. And Ludlow knocking on the door, 35-29. This is anyone's ball game. 4th quarter of football, 12 minutes left until there is a decided winner on this homecoming battle. We'll be back here in a minute on FSN. Aiden Blank, I'm cameraman back at Taft Field once again. Fourth quarter of football, 12 minutes left until we have a Victorian for this homecoming battle. And to start it off, Walker gets swarmed out in the backfield. That's a loss of 2. And the Ludlow defense is coming alive.
That's a huge loss for the Bears, something they can't do much. They cannot afford to do a lot of that.
So now it's at the 41-yard line. This is a 4th and 3.
It will be a third down.
Or a third down, sorry. The cannot rely on the scoreboard all the time. As Aiden was saying, we are spoiled as broadcasters on that end. Gordon drops back, rolls out to his right, now tucks it up the middle of the field, and he will be taken down just short of the 4th down, and that is Northup taking him down. And now there's a flag on the field, and it'll be on Norwalk, so I'll move him back even more for this 4th down. And let's see if the punt team is coming out on the field. Penalty was declined. So it's a 4th down and 14 for the Bears. And the punt team will come out. Back to receive for the Falcons is Brian Howell. And Aiden, before, Brian Howell was breaking tackles like it was nothing.
Yeah, this kid is something special. We're going to see him in baseball season. He was part of that huge upset, and one of the main reasons they did win that game again in the FCI quarterfinals against Ridgefield, and they blew him out because he just has so much power as a pitcher, as a fielder, at bat, you name it.
Howell fair catches it at the 35-yard line, so Colin Wilson and this offense is coming out. 10:55 left to go in this game. 29-35 once again, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. And Colin Wilson is trying to put the team on his back to lead them to a homecoming victory. And that would be amazing for this Falcons team.
You got to find out when the last time they won at homecoming was. Well, actually, it wasn't 2013 when they beat Norwalk, because they always play Norwalk. When they play Norwalk at home, it's always homecoming. So that was the last time they won a game on homecoming.
Wilson back, looking to throw, and that's Howell. And Howell will stiff arm, pick a tackle towards the middle of the field, and he's not going down easy, man. He's down at the 45-yard line after forward progress. But Howell, we were just talking about it, he just does not go down. He has this kind of just fire. He's not going down to that turf easy. So now it is a 1st down after the 13-yard gain from Brian Howell, the 12th grade wide receiver and safety for this Falcons team.
Playing both ends of the spectrum for Ludlow.
Wilson in the shotgun, trips to his right. He's dropping back to throw, looking, and a great laid-out catch from Eden Wyckoff. Oh, what a play. Full extension, beautiful catch, and that will be 2nd down and 4 for the Falcons. .950 and counting.
That breeze really does make it feel like fall.
It does. Beautiful football weather. Wilson drops back, looking to throw, heading deep to Wyckoff, and Wyckoff makes the catch! Aiden Wyckoff! He'll make the catch at the 25-yard line, and the Ludlow football team is moving the chains like no other.
That was kind of an over-the-back catch, but awesome. That was awesome. Excellent catch.
That got the crowd rumbling. That got me rumbling.
That could just be the hunger.
Yeah.
We're all hungry. We didn't have lunch.
I've not eaten since, let's say, 9 a.m.?
Yeah, me too. I need some food. We're going to have to get some food after the game. See if AJ will cook us up some food.
But we're staying alive. This is a good football game here. Thanks for tuning in. Wilson dropping back once again, looking up the middle to Moreno. Moreno towards the middle field, breaks another tackle, and he's moving forward, chugging and chugging, and he's tackled down at the 10.
What an impressive comeback This game has been, they're right in it, and they're never out of it. This just goes to show that this Ludlow football team will never be out of it. Unbelievable.
Oh, and it's a hold on Fairfield Ludlowe as the flag is down the field.
So how far back are they moving is the question.
We'll have to see the spot of the ball and where they're going to spot this one after that. But I just heard a fan cheer, Ludlow, do it again. And they can do it again. They are moving this offense very well.
Wow, they moved it back. That's even further than the original line of scrimmage. I think that was a bit harsh, wouldn't you think?
It is. 1st and 20 for this Ludlow team. 9 minutes left to go. They have 20 yards till the first down, and then from that first down, they have another 13 till the end zone. Wilson in the backfield, Moreno. He's got twins to both sides. Wilson gets the snap, drops back, looking to throw, gives the screen to Wyckoff. Wyckoff towards the middle of the field. Wyckoff spins. Wyckoff going, Wyckoff chugging, and Wyckoff will be very close to a first down. We'll have to see the call.
Big first down coming up. Something they need. Here we go.
Howell getting the crowd pumped. That was a gain of 16, so it will be a 2nd and 4.
Now buckle up, because these next few minutes, it's this crowd. I'm telling you, this team is so pumped up when they get to play in front of the nest. It just gets them to another level, and they absolutely perform a lot better.
Wilson back, caught by Howell. Howell spins, Howell jukes. Howell go to the outside towards the 10. Gets tackled down at the 9-yard line, and Brian Howell makes a spectacular catch and move, and Ludlow gets a first down.
This game is unreal. This game is just on another level, what this has been. Norwalk thought they had the win. Ludlow's coming in trying to knock off an unbeaten.
And once again, we have another injury down at the 10-yard line. And I'm trying to look in. That might be Dante Salone, but I am not sure. We will get you on that, as there is a injured player on the field. And this is the 3rd injured player for Norwalk on the game, so you never like to see that. And Sean Ireland, the Norwalk coach, definitely doesn't like to see this either. 7:57 left to go in this game. Norwalk still has the lead, 35-29. And once this injury is over, it will be a 1st and 10 on the 6-yard line for Ludlow. So they have 6 yards to punch it in. And if they do, they put it in the hands of the defense to try to finish this one out. And Aiden was saying before, this kind of reminds me and him of that West Hill game that Ludlow had in a close contended game. West Hill came back, but nevertheless, Ludlow won their home opener. And he will stand up, and he's okay to walk off the field in his own power. That is number 20. That's actually number 20. It's number 26. There's no 26 on my thing, so
yeah, again,
the rosters are a bit.
Cue the Rob Adams press for updated rosters. Mandatory by make it mandatory by the CIAC.
So here we go. Wildcat formation. Howell will take it. Howell will go up the middle. He's chugging, but the Norwalk D-line is not having it. And then we'll pull him all the way back. So now it'll be a 2nd down.
Boy, I really thought he was in.
A 2nd down now from the 6, so that was a loss. Clock moving. Let's see if they go back to the Wildcat formation. They will. Colin Wilson going out wide. It's Moreno, Wyckoff, and Howell, the guy that's getting the snaps in this Wildcat formation. The snap is off. It's going to Howell. Howell going to the right side. Howell towards the sideline. Howell to the end zone. Touchdown, Ludlow! Ludlow takes the lead for this homecoming matchup. And the Ludlow Falcons, the Falcons nest, is going crazy. Now, the lead is not taken just yet. That is my fault to say that just yet.
Right.
35 to 35, but
They're
if
going
Kuna,
for the easy PAT. No reason, regardless, to go for two.
Kuna's been automatic.
Kuna has been.
Oh, it's blocked! Oh my God!
Just as you say that, it's a tie game.
I might have just jinxed that one. Kuna
I'm
gets
gonna hold you to that,
blocked.
Cam.
35 to 35. So my fault for saying that. It is not a tie game. It is a tie. It is not a lead for Ludlow. It is a tie game. 35 to 35. 7:30 left to go in the fourth quarter of football. And this one is anyone's ball game. Even if Ludlow had the lead, even if it was 36 to 35, just like that, Norwalk can take it back with a field goal or a touchdown.
Clock is running again. We got to reset that.
And the clock is not being handled, so it is 7:07 and running. The clock should go back up to, I think, the 7:30 mark.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
But what a turn of events. The Wildcat formation has worked so well for this Ludlow team. They've been given to Howell. That's Howell's second or third touchdown of the day. And that's his second from the Wildcat formation. Kuna's been automatic. Kuna probably would have made that one if the O-line for that PAT could have been held up. Let's go blue is what these Falcons fans are saying. They want to see a win on homecoming. Beautiful day. Blue skies. Kuna kicks it off. 7:02 to go is what the clock says. And Walker will get it at the 30. Walker moves to the outside. Walker heading down the sideline, but it will be hit out of bounds at the 40-yard line, and a flag is thrown.
That's a late hit and a little bit of a scrum there on the Ludlow sideline. That's not good. This is where it can get a little chippy. Norwalk's disappointed they didn't come in and blow them out. Ludlow is pumped up with adrenaline surging, and this could get ugly. Obviously, we hope it doesn't, but it could.
And it was a late hit from Ludlow. And that's a close call. There were so many guys going at him, pursuing him to get out of bounds. So Falcons move to the Bears move to the 45-yard line. And this gives them even better field position, so a costly penalty by Ludlow. And now the Bears are knocking on enemy territory. Walker right behind Gordon in the backfield, twins to both sides of Gordon. Gordon looks to the sideline for a change of play, maybe an audible. Gordon takes a snap, drops back, two-step drop, rolls out to his left, and breaks up the middle.
Oh, no, he's not.
And look at that. Gordon could have had a loss of 5, but he goes right back to the line of scrimmage, so maybe just a loss of 1.
Big run. And that was certainly a big play. He could have easily put them in a situation where they got a punt. Second and manageable, at least now. Second goal, 11 yards.
2nd and 11 for the Bears. Trips to the left of Gordon. One man out to his right. Gordon rolls out to his left, looking to throw, but now he'll look to run. Going to the outside of the sideline, jukes, and he will just get to the line of scrimmage. So that's either a loss of 1 or maybe just a gain of 1.
Yeah.
Aiden Wyckoff with the tackle. So it was a gain of 1, 3rd down and 10. 6:02 and counting. Aiden, they didn't even change the clock when it said 7:02.
Probably not, no.
So I don't know that.
Well, at this point, we're not taking the clock on the scoreboard seriously. No diss to the athletic department, but the clock is what's being run down on the field, and I'm sure that's what Mitch Ross and the other coaches are thinking.
He's looking deep, looking to throw, and it's caught! No. To the end zone goes Norwalk, touchdown, Jermone Moorer, and he blows it open with 5:36 to go for this Norwalk squad. 42-35 Bears.
Not done yet. It's actually 41. Minus
the extra point.
Yep. We cannot assume the PATs at
after
this
we just
point,
saw
ever. Could have given them the lead.
Yeah.
Obviously, that won't matter much here, but still.
So 41-35 Bears, 5:36 to go in the fourth quarter.
It has really been a shootout.
Kick is down, and it will just go through the uprights.
That was so close to being missed.
So it's still a one-possession game. Ludlow scores, goes down the field, and they make the PAT. Ludlow ties this game. They have 5 minutes and 30 seconds to do it, and we'll see if they can do it in a minute. We'll be back here on FSN after this. Cam-Mana, Aiden Blank, back here for fourth quarter football. It's crunch time for both Norwalk and Ludlow. Norwalk kicking it off to Ludlow. Sky kick towards the Norwalk sideline, and it'll be taken and tackled down at the 35-yard line on the return.
So they got to score. They need to put points on the board, and they have 5.5 minutes to do it. This drive could take 5.5 minutes, but they got to get something done. They have to score. They cannot turn it over on this possession. Even though they still have time, I would say, as Dylan Fragomeni looks injured, if I'm Mitch Ross, you have to go for it if it comes to a fourth down. Obviously, we hope it doesn't, but if it does, you have to go for it.
Fragomeni down right now towards the Bears sideline.
And then you have a whole nother point with the fact that if you go for 2, you could take the lead. And depending on how this drive ends, that could be the game. That could mean the game. But if you go for the PAT, that just ties you. So questions can be, depending on how this drive goes and how long it takes, and some of the variables could end up being, this may end up not as we see, not as black and white as it may seem.
Fragomeni will walk off in his own power, and Ludlow has to try to power through this one as they're trying to get their first win against Norwalk since 2013 in October. And they won that one 13-6. This one is way more high scoring. That was a defensive battle. This one is a shootout, on the offensive side.
No doubt.
So Wilson in the offense coming out. Trips to his left with Northup, Fleming, and Howell. Moreno in the backfield, and Wyckoff is the lone man. But well, now they'll do an audible, so now it's twins, Fleming and Wyckoff to the right. And it's a screen to Howell. Howell gets a blocker. Howell going down the sideline, and he'll run into his own teammate in Carlos Moreno.
I don't think they really care. I think they'll take the first down any way they can get it. Again, you don't want to have to go to that fourth down situation. You want to be in a third down at worst. Fourth down is going to be the worst down for the Falcons. It'll be there. And the clock is not their enemy yet. At this point, the Norwalk D is still their enemy.
They're moving the chains. First down and 10. 5:23 left to go. Wilson gets the snap. Screen pass, and intended for Howell, but dropped. So now it'll be 2nd and 10.
Second down, 10 at the 48.
Second and 10 on the 48-yard line. And this is when we show the character of this Ludlow team and what they can do as Fragomeni is getting checked on the Ludlow sideline. They're looking at his knee. We'll give you an update on that if he does come back in the game. Wilson rolling out, looking to throw, jukes one. Now he's looking to run, and he swarmed down for a loss at around the 43-yard line. And he was tackled down by Isaiah Johnson, the 12th grade D lineman.
Ball at the 47. Third down, 11.
They got to get something here.
Wilson and this offense, 3rd and 11. This is a big down right here. You don't want to move it to 4th because they will go for it with 4 minutes to go, I assume. Twins to both sides of Wilson. Moreno in the backfield. Wilson gets the snap, looking to throw. He'll heave one towards the sideline, and it is off the hands of Wyckoff and dropped.
So you can't punt. This is a bad situation, the one you didn't want to get into. It's 4th and 11. That play didn't turn out too bad. I mean, it could have been, he almost caught the ball. Could have been more manageable. You needed that pass, but this is likely the game on the line. If Norwalk gets the ball back, Kyle Gordon's gonna score. So they can't let the ball get back in his hands until they've scored.
Trips to the right. Fleming is the lone man left. Wilson back to throw. He's running. He runs through, but gets downed. Wilson had nowhere to go with the pass or the run, and now it's turnover on downs.
Well, he should have just at least gotten it out of his hands. That was a bad decision. He was not going to get, even if he had gotten by that guy, it was not going to end well, and now Ludlow's got to turn it over, and likely that's going to be the ball game. 4:18 to go. If they can get a stop, wouldn't be terrible. I mean,
this game is definitely not over.
If you're the Ludlow offense, you have to prepare for you have to prepare to get the ball back with about a minute to go, and this 2-minute drill is gonna really show here. Shotgun again. Wow.
Bears offense coming out. Gordon has Walker in the backfield, right behind him in the I formation, and whistle's blown, and it'll be a timeout from Ludlow. So it'll be timeout, Ludlow. We'll take a quick break. Right back after this on FSN.
Timeout. First down.
4 minutes, 18 seconds left to go on FSN for the homecoming football game with Ludlow and Norwalk as we bring you back with whistles blown. Whistles are blown. And the coaches are yelling stop. Might have been the music. Well, nevertheless, they're playing football, and Gordon and Walker in the backfield, twins to both sides of Gordon. Gordon drops back, looking to run. He goes straight up the middle, and he'll get a first down.
Yeah, this is not good for the Falcons. Needless to say, this is not what should be happening right now. They should have had the football. They should have aired it out on 4th down, but you're going to need a stop now. They're actually just shy, so they're going to get a chance on 2nd and short to stop them if they can, and stop them a couple more times, maybe get the ball back with some time to go. Again, game not over yet. Also, we don't specifically know the specific amount of time on the clock because of some issues earlier, so we are not quite sure what time is.
3:44 to go is what the clock says. Handed off to Moorer up the middle. Moorer was the game-leading touchdown not too long ago. So the clock's running, and that is the first down. So Gordon did not get it before.
What's going to happen here is the clock's going to expire. There's going to be another 30 seconds or so left, and there's going to be a big discrepancy. I can tell you right now, if they don't fix this clock, there's going to be an issue.
3:20 to go is what the clock says, and Aiden is right. There probably will be some.
There's probably about 4 minutes or so left.
Gordon drops back. He'll give it to Morrow to run.
Stop.
And Morrow stops, so a big stop by Ludlow. Second down, clock still running.
Second down, 10.
And now there is a whistle's being blown. And they're saying stop the clock because the clock is being stopped late after every play.
We'll see what happens here. Yeah.
So it was a timeout by Ludlow. And Mitch Ross trying to get his team pumped up. They really need this. They need this win. They do not want to fall to 1-2. It would be big to move up to 2-1 in the early part of this season.
This is kind of a really bad situation. I mean, 1-2 still not that bad for Ludlow because they got a winnable game next week at McMahon. Now, should they win next week at McMahon, they're 3-1. That's big.
Yeah.
But if they lose, they lose. And then they're 2-2. That's not a bad start either. And then the Montville game, we don't really know too much about Montville. Yeah, we don't know enough about Montville. And then I'm trying to think. I'm not sure which game is after that, but we'll figure it out from there. St. Joe's has let Darien tie it, so it's 7-7 in that game at halftime. Stanford leads Trinity Catholic 6-0, 6:55 to go in the third quarter there. Final from Ram, it's Ram 35, Avon 0. Valley leads Coggin-Chog 7-0. 5:42 to go in the third quarter there. So some games still moving on.
Tyler Simeon gets the handoff. And there's complaining from the clock down the field, but there's a timeout called by Norwalk on that one, or Ludlow again. And if Ludlow did call another timeout, I think it's only 3 timeouts, and if they've used all 3, then they have to get a stop here. If they don't get a stop here, then this Bears team can run out the clock to potentially end the game.
Yeah, that's not, needless to say, that's not what they want.
2:47 to go. Third down and 6 on the 32-yard line for the Norwalk Bears. 42-35, so it is a one-possession game.
You know what? They got the students here. The students got to get into this. The student section is very much still alive. The students and everybody's got to get behind him here to get him pumping up. 3rd and 6. This is big third down. And Ludlow's got, I believe, they're not taking out the timeouts on the scoreboard. I believe they have just 1 timeout to go. They've used 2. Actually, you know what? Norwalk might have called one of them, so they may have 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Ludlow may have 2 to go.
So third down, Gordon rolls out, but the ball almost comes out, and he will be stuffed, so it will not be a first down. It will be 4th down.
So do you go for it? Do you kick a field goal, or do you punt here if you're Coach Ireland?
The clock stopped. I don't see any timeouts being called.
They were doing a placement is why. They took the ball and they had to replace it, I think.
Yeah, so it will be a placement. I don't think it's a 4th down, so they can't really kick a field goal from here and a punt here. So this is like the same situation they've had all game. I feel like if they go for it, then what's the worst that could happen? That's really where it would be if you miss the field goal. You can't really do anything else here.
We're going to find out here. The referees may be conferring about time. And it looks like they are. They're going to come tell something to us right now.
It's a 4th and 5 on the 31.
Also, one of them's a female. I'm just realizing this. We have a female referee on the staff. That's always good. They're letting the coaches know how much time is left. But again, we're going to come down to a serious situation here if this clock doesn't get fixed. Where there's 3 minutes to go. I can tell you right now, there are at least 30 seconds that are not on that clock that need to be.
Because there was a point where it was like 7 minutes and 36 seconds, and it ran down to all the way to 7:02.
So we're gonna have a serious issue here, and there will be some unhappy campers. I hope that the referees, at least one of them, has been taking care of it, but they're going for it.
4th and 5. This is it. Ludlow needs to stop. They're looking end zone. It's Moorer, and it's incomplete. It's incomplete. So Ludlow has another chance. Their pulse is alive, and the offense is coming out.
The defense needed a stop. The defense gets a stop. I'm going to go ahead and say 3 minutes on the clock, and they ain't done yet.
So depending on Ludlow's timeouts, we don't know how many they have. I think they might have one timeout left. It's 1st and 10 on the 31, so they have a pretty long way to go. But they do have 2 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's a good amount of time to get it done.
The fat lady has not sung yet. She's warming up her pipes, but those can easily be cooled down.
So here we go. It's a 4-man set to the left side of Colin Wilson.
I'm just seeing right now, I'm looking at one of the programs. One of our graphics is actually in the program that was given out today, so that's awesome. I'm just realizing that, not that that has anything to do with what's going on right now, but thought I might add that in.
Dropping back, and he's looking for a screen to Wyckoff. Wyckoff breaks one, Wyckoff breaks two, and Wyckoff inching closer to a first down.
Move it up. Move it up.
2:20 to go in this game. Second down. Second down and 1 for Ludlow. And they're doing some hurry-up offense, and they don't got a lot of timeouts left. Trips to the left of Colin Wilson. Wilson drops back, looking to throw. Tipped, and it'll be an incomplete pass, so the clock will stop with 2 minutes left. And more like 2:30, depending on what they're going to do with the clock at the very end of this one.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is that the next timeout, the refs may come out and say something. I'm not sure why the clock stopped.
Well, that was an incomplete pass.
Okay. Also, they're not quite at the first down marker. They got to worry about that. Third and 1.
Wildcat formation, 3rd down and 1. This will probably be a snap to Howell. And yes, it is. Howell looking to throw, and Howell gives it to Wyckoff. Wyckoff down the middle of the field. Wyckoff to the end zone. There he goes. Touchdown, Ludlow. Oh, they're going to mark him down at the 1. They're going to mark him down at the 1.
Oh,
but nevertheless, Aiden Wyckoff takes it all the way to the 1-yard line, and the Falcons are inching closer to taking homecoming home. What a play!
I'm out of breath.
Unbelievable!
That was an incredible pass. That was nuts. That was
running. 1:40 to go. They're going to give it to Wyckoff. He's chugging up the middle. Touchdown, Ludlow! The Falcons tie it up. Well, the Falcons are actually down by 1, so 41-42.
Now the question, do you go for 2 or do you go for the PAT?
So Falcons are down by 1.
They're going to convert. Mitch may need a timeout here just to kind of surprise them.
I think you got to give it to Kuna. He's been automatic besides that one blocked kick. But they're bringing out the offense.
Why not?
They're looking for the lead.
And why not?
Everyone sit. Yeah.
Let's do it. Bringing it out. Wilson. Shotgun formation. It's actually going to be some trips in there too. And a timeout's going to be used right before it. So we're going to take a short break. Ludlow down by just 1 in a game that was 21-0. Why don't we stay here, Cam? This has been an incredible game in a game that was 21-0 at a point. And this is unthinkable. It was a 20-point lead, as big as a 21-point game, and we bring it all the way back. Norwalk ahead by just 1. This is unbelievable, and for a game like this on homecoming with all the alumni past and present here, you got the past with the alumni right below us and the present with the Falcons Nest right next to them. The past and present both on hand to watch Ludlow pull off one of the most unthinkable comebacks I've seen at this field ever.
Unbelievable play. I've not seen anything really like that. They're banging their feet against these stands. You can definitely hear that. The press box is definitely shaking. The Ludlow Falcon fans are having an unbelievable time.
Here we go. With a man to the near side. Takes the snap, it goes silent. Runs to the outside. Wilson looking to go. Referee is knocked over, but he's in. Touchdown, Ludlow. They go for two. It has not been confirmed. The referee is down, as is a player, but they confirm it. It's a 2-point conversion, and Ludlow takes the lead by 1. Now they just need to ice it.
43-31. Walker's down for the second time this game. The ref is okay.
And it's good.
I'm looking for him at
And
the
it's
touchdown.
good. Listen to this crowd right now. Listen to that crowd and tell me that this is not a football school. They're going to start 2-1 in all likelihood for the first time in a long time.
1:38 to go. Anything can happen. And some injuries are happening, so you want to take a short break?
I want to go home right now. I wish we could just take that 138 off. But we'll take a short break. We're back in a bit here on FSN. One.
43-42, Ludlow has the lead, minute 38 left in this homecoming war, I would say.
This is unthinkable.
And Kuna's gonna kick it off to the Bears. The Bears have one last shot at this one, and if they want to win, they're gonna have to score. Kuna boots it way deep over the head of Moore, and that will go all the way, and Moore catches it at the 1 yard line.
Oh, wait a minute.
He never downed it.
Ross is upset because he thinks they're going to bring this out to the 20. He thinks they should place it at the 1, which they're gonna. There's two different sides to this. Norwalk thought they brought it all the way back to the end zone, but on the other hand, they can't knee it in the end zone.
Yeah, no, you can't, because if you bring it all the way back, if you bring it into play and back, that's a safety. No one ever waved it down. If they bring this to the 20, I don't know what the ruling is. That should be down at the 1. There was no fair catch called.
Norwalk thought it might have been able to bring it back to the 20.
And look at this, if you can hear it. Defense is being yelled. The press box is shaking. The stands are shaking. The Falcons' nest wants to fly away with a win. And they're going to place it at the 20. So Gordon in the offense. They got to get through this crazy crowd to win this one. They're looking up the middle, and it's caught. A great catch up the middle by Austin Hall.
But you know what? The tackle's what they need. They're still in their own territory. Clock is stopped, and we got an issue again. The clock is going to be an issue till the end. I'm telling you right now. You can mark my words. This is going to be an issue once we get down.
And Gordon, pressure coming. Gordon rolls out up the middle, and he's taken down for only probably a gain of 1. The clock's running. 1:15 and counting. 43-42, as you can see in this one.
Norwalk.
Second down and 10.
Norwalk, I don't know how many timeouts they have, but they don't have a ton of time to just be thinking of plays here. They're looking at the sideline, but they don't have that kind of time.
Gordon again rolling out to Moore. Moore doesn't go out of bounds, but now he's rolling out down the sideline, and Moore is pushed out of bounds at about the 43.
That was a bad decision. They should have just hit him, let him go out of bounds. Let him go out of bounds. We don't care if the clock stops. 56 seconds. Norwalk trying to make a last-second drive here. I might have a heart attack in this situation. This is not good.
A field goal also does win it, but they have to be in the distance for
they're not
take a field goal.
They're not hitting a 55-yard field goal.
Oh, no way. So
they got to get a lot further than they already are.
At least to the 25, 30-yard line at most. Press box is shaking once again. This is an insane atmosphere. Gordon will get the snap. He'll roll out. He's looking sideline, and it's incomplete. That was intended for number 6, Keegan Agostoni.
But you know what? It was almost better if he had completed that pass, because then the clock runs. Now, of course, we don't know. This could be there could be 50 seconds. There could be 30 more than that. We don't know how much time is on the clock. We're going to find out in a second. I guarantee you the refs are going to correct it here.
Everyone, if you're tuning in right now, thank you for tuning in this long. This has been an unbelievable game, and we're glad to have you guys listen to this broadcast.
Shotgun again. This seems to be their go-to formation.
Pressure
with
coming.
Extra wide receivers to the far side.
Gordon back. Gordon looking to throw, and it's incomplete. Gordon incompletes it again. So now it's 3rd down with 44 seconds to go.
3rd and 10. They got to get this. They've got to get this. They're not going for it. They're not going to convert it for it. You jinxed us earlier. You jinxed us earlier, Cam. Think about how much that extra point could have meant. They could be in a situation where a field goal does not tie it.
Yeah.
Or where a field goal, would tie it. A field goal does not win it.
3rd and 10 at the 44. Gordon rolling out, looking to throw to the sideline, and it's caught. But he's taken down just at the first down.
Did he get it?
We'll
They're going to measure. They're going to measure
placement.
this. They're going to measure, and the clock is going to continue to run.
33 seconds.
Ludlow taking their time to get into defensive formation. This could be it. Down to 23. Rolling. Throwing. Incomplete. Ball is fumbled. That's the game. There is no flags. That's your ball game.
They were down 21-0. They came back from the dead, and they're going to win this game 43-42.
15.3 to go. There you go. That's your ball game. Norwalk wants a little bit of a replay, but unfortunately, they don't have that. The offense will come out on the field.
And one knee will do it.
The fans on their feet.
Aiden, I've never seen fans like this. I've never really seen fans like this. This is unbelievable. Chanting, keeping these Falcon students on their feet. They're getting their cameras out to videotape this one. Aiden, what's the last time the team's gone 2-1? I haven't seen this.
I couldn't tell you. But I think Mitch Ross, this is clearly what he can do. They will need it.
Victory formation.
Victory formation for the Falcons. Not sure if Norwalk has a timeout to burn. They have settled and suffered through years of heartache and pain. But today, the Ludlow alumni can finally see a Falcon victory on Taft Field.
They did it on homecoming. Everyone think they could come back. This game looks like a massacre with Norwalk slinging it up 21-0. But Ludlow comes all the way back. The Falcons' nest was alive, and they're going to fly away with a victory. This will never be forgotten. Mitch Ross is soaked with Gatorade that just shows victory and what he's done for this program.
This is unbelievable.
The fans have stormed the field. We're going to stick here for a bit longer, and then we'll move it over to the post game with Ian Sackey.
This is unthinkable. This is even better than that first win because all the alumni are coming back to watch this. And it's unbelievable. We're going to take a short break. Ian Sackey will recap a great afternoon of football when we come back. Once again, your final, Ludlow 43, Norwalk 42 with the win. Ludlow's 2-0 at home and 2-1 overall. With the loss, Norwalk is 1-1 on the road and 2-1 overall. We recap when we come back. Post game is next. For the first time in a long time, it's 2-0 to start the season for the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons at home. Taft Field seems to be the equivalent of a Carrier Dome or a Clemson or a Arizona State. It's unbelievable what this field and these fans can do. Aiden Blank, Ian Zaki, Cam Manna, the trifecta, bringing you this post-game show, and Mitch Ross about to award the game ball to one of his players. Ian, we'll start with your reactions because you were not on the call for these last few minutes. What were you thinking watching from the stands?
Okay, the only thing I was thinking of was what a game. What a comeback. They were down in the third quarter 35-22 after a touchdown by Ja'Kai Elliott, thinking, we all thought, I'm not sure about you guys, but I was thinking the game's over. Norwalk will be 4-0 overall, 3-0 in the FCAC. But what a comeback. You had touchdown from Brian Howell, a 4-yard touchdown in the end zone, 2 of them to be exact, which tied the game at 35, and then unluckily a blocked field goal from Victor Kunha. And then you had Khalil Eason with a touchdown, 45-yard bullet, and he blew Aiden Wyckoff out of the water. And then a comeback, Aiden Wyckoff with a big pass from Brian Howell. What a play call by Mitchell Ross on that.
This is unbelievable.
It's amazing. And
it's still sinking in, I think, for a lot of us.
And Colin Wilson made it in by inches for the 2-point conversion, making the final score Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons 43 to Norwalk Bears 42. And I would love to know, Cam, you were announcing the second half. What was your take on what was happening, the comeback with Ludlow, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, in the second quarter, I was not broadcasting, and I remember hearing all the fans saying, this is over, oh my God, screaming at the refs. And then this second half came, and this Ludlow team brought the fire. It was a shootout, one of the best games that I have ever saw, and I'm glad for everyone here on FSN to have listened it with us, because this was unbelievable. And give all the credit, in my mind, to what Mitch Ross has done. Mitch Ross got soaked in Gatorade in the victory formation. He's got to be so happy bringing this program to a 2-1 record, to win on homecoming, to come back from a 21-0 deficit. Unbelievable.
Now, that said, I guarantee you what he's saying right now, tonight, you party like there's no tomorrow. Monday, you get back on this field, and we got McMahon. We want to go 3-1. It's manageable, and I guarantee you there'll be a lot of Falcon fans at Brian McMahon on Friday. They can go 3-1. Brian McMahon is not one of those games that is unthinkable for them to win. They beat Brian McMahon, and then they got to go up to Montville. So you got to think ahead. The future was amazing, but excuse me, the present is amazing, but the future can be even better. But they got to think about that starting Monday morning. Take the weekend, have some fun. Monday morning, get right back on it.
And you said they are playing Brian McMahon, and they came off of a 38-14 loss over Staples last night. And additionally, you had New Canaan and Trumbull. In Trumbull, the final score for that one yesterday was New Canaan 48, Trumbull 7. 4 touchdowns from Drew Pine of New Canaan, and a passing touchdown by Colton Nicholas of Trumbull.
All right. That said, we will take a quiet timeout. We will take a quiet timeout. We'll be back on Monday. We got boys soccer on Monday, and then I think we're all kind of looking forward to that
Friday, yep.
Semi-big Friday games.
Good game.
Pretty small game.
Hey, if Ludlow can go 3-1, it's going to be an exciting game. Brian McMahon, a team that is beatable, and it will be an exciting one.
All right. So that said, we will do one quick sign-off. Guys, final thoughts.
What a game. I'm probably going to need Advil after this from screaming my head off and hearing the loud fans, especially from the Falcons' Nest. But what a comeback once again by Mitchell Ross and the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons.
4 quick things. Food, cough drops, water, and Mitch Ross is leading this team to something that has been unthinkable, to a 2-1 record, which is amazing for these Ludlow Falcons.
All right. That said, we'll do a quick sign-off again. Back at it for boys soccer on Monday. We got a big game that the Nest should show up for, too. those of you students that are watching this game that maybe didn't come to it, you're going to want to come to Monday because we got boys soccer, a team that is supposedly an FCAC contender. We haven't seen them this season. We'll see them for the first time on Monday at 7 o'clock. Ludlow will take on the defending FCAC co-champions from Trumbull. It's going to be quite a game, and I know Ian will likely be there for that. And then we'll have boys soccer. We'll have the pregame show coming up at 6:50, kickoff at 7, and same deal, a pregame show at 6:50 and a kickoff at 7 for football on Friday at Brian McMahon. So, for Jerry Spino, our executive producer at Fair TV, Nick Marini, our camera guy, Chris Blank, he's helping us out with the equipment. Of course, my partners Ian Sackey and Cam Manna. I'm Aiden Blank. Ludlow 43, Norwalk 42. With the win, the Falcons are 2-0 at home. With the loss, the Bears are 2-1 overall. So again, for everybody at Fair TV and at FSN, and of course my great partners who did an excellent job calling this game, Cam Manna and Ian Sackey, I'm Aiden Blank. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll see you Monday evening for a little boys soccer on FSN. Thanks for watching, everybody.